everybody. What's going on? Welcome back to Technically Broken. This is episode 7, so thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah, we're making a roll. Yeah. So if you guys don't know me, I'm Mario. I'm Whole Baked Cookie. But we'll get into more in-depth, socials and all that later. Right now, I'm going to pass it over to my co-host.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Botar. This is episode 7, like Mario said. And do my little metric spiel here in the beginning. We're, like I told everybody the last couple episodes, we're on Spotify now. And so since I can't check those metrics, it goes to our, main hub account, anything we have. But we're down to, we're up to, over 100 downloads. So
nice,
that's pretty
dude.
sick. Yeah.
I'll take it.
Our last episode was our most popular episode. It's pretty interesting. I think that's because a lot of new people are jumping on. So get ready for those handies, boys. I'm going to pass it over to our technical fucking dude, Caleb.
Hi, guys. I'm Caleb the Hunted. Back again. Can't get rid of me as much as you want to. But without further ado, I'm going to keep it short. We're going to take it over our buddy, Alex.
What's going on, guys? My name is Alex, but everybody usually calls me Smokey. If you want to know why, well, you'll never know. But
because you light shit on fire.
I love the allure.
Don't tell them. They'll never know.
You'll never know.
Exactly.
You don't know me.
You don't know me.
But, so thanks for coming on, dude. I really appreciate
problem.
fucking making the trip here early in the morning. It is an early morning shoot for us and for our listeners and viewers. It's pretty chilly out here. It kind of sucks.
A little brisk.
Really appreciate everybody coming out and anybody who's listening.
Not having alcohol on the table anymore. We got coffee in front of us.
Yeah, for the first time.
Yeah, for the first time. Just coffee got cold, but with the weather. But
I think it's like the vitality of it, like the life, the different perspectives that we're exhibiting now,
Go from drinking hard alcohol and beers at night to now coffee. Yeah, well, it's.
I guess we could have had Bloody Marys, but that probably would have been a bad
afternoon. Bloody Sunday.
Mimosas,
They drink in the morning. Mimosas, yeah.
Mimosas. You guys want to do brunch?
Anyways. Breakfast at Tiffany's? What the hell are we doing?
All right. Dude, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for the coffee. You didn't give me coffee. I got coffee.
Why are you lying? It's a thought that counts.
Yeah, thanks for coming with me to get coffee.
How about thank you for getting me coffee and that half a pizza you gave me?
All right, here we go. And see, people, this is how the repair world goes. Somebody scratches your back, scratch their back. But real quick, let's do a real quick recap of episode 6. Yeah, man. And then we're just gonna jump into your situation here in a minute. But last episode, it sucks, right? Jobs, repair world sucks.
God, it does.
You'll talk about it today. Yeah. It sucks, man. Some shit just does not go your way, or you don't understand the whole situation or the job yet. And either way, it just shit piles on or it gets worse and worse. But anyways, that was the suck of the job.
It is,
and
absolutely.
It sucks, but you love it.
Yeah, right?
Because you keep doing it.
Yeah, we're still doing it. And so we touched on that and how much of a drag it can be to finish a job or your task or whatever. And then we talked about your conspiracies. Well, you had some ideas, so I don't know if these shops are screwing us over, but
I think that they might be.
You think shops screw you over, Smoke?
I think
I guess it depends on the shop where you go, because you got these one guys that are like big branded places that work on the certain brand vehicles,
like a dealership,
and Stealership, and they'll charge you an arm and leg, and then they'll just find another thing that's broken and charge you for it and try to repair it. Like, hey, we know this thing's broken. Should we fix it for you, or should you just leave it? Oh, leave it. I ain't gonna. I don't have that money in my pocket.
Did they break it? That's the real question.
Yeah, did they break it?
So that was a conspiracy, man, and that was a good. I like talking about it. It's probably we're gonna have dealership guys on, so we're gonna see their take on it in the future. But that was a real quick recap of episode 6. And without further ado, though, let's not talk about what we've already done and did. Let's bring you in, dude. Smokey, how do we know you? What have you done? I mean, how do we get you a handy? This guy's offering them. I'm handing them out.
Come on, man.
Oh, you don't even have to ask me.
I'm handing them out for him. Don't worry, I'll be
handing out handies.
You don't even have to ask me. Just look me dead in the eye. I'll just get to town on you. That's about it.
As long as everybody's happy.
Yeah, that's all that counts.
Consenting adults.
No, but we've known you forever, man, since high school, right? So,
give or take, yeah. I mean,
known Alex.
Oh, you've probably known him a lot.
He'd known me since grade school.
Grade?
4th, yeah. Because that was the very first time I moved to this house where my dad lives in now, and that's when we started to go to Reddick for
20 years almost?
Yeah, give or take.
That's a long time.
It's a
Yeah,
long
it's
time.
been
I think I've known
time.
Mario for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Almost.
Those lifelong relationships.
Oh, you guys are weird then.
yeah, we're the weird. Hey, wait a minute.
It's
you
not
two.
quite 20. It's more like 15, 16, but whatever.
Well,
Going on 20.
It's getting to that point, but
Me and Alex have known each other since we were wee little tykes.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's so we just kind of we always knew and obviously been around each other and did stuff. So, and then this is what technically broken is. We want to talk to you about. Well, this is a repair world. Don't you fix shit? Where did you start out? Weren't you like a farm kid? You were. That's where
Yeah.
it starts, right? Like.
Yeah, all my life, I wanted to farm because my family does it, and my dad always took me out there and like walked around and like worked on tractors and rode in them and basically everything. Showed me the ropes. I like, what's the saying? Like I followed in his footsteps,
Yeah, that's cool. man.
and that's all like I ever wanted to do. It's in my blood through and through, and it's usually you take after your parents. And you want to do what they do sometimes, or other times you don't.
yeah,
Not me.
You just hate them to death.
I don't want to be jobless at home by myself.
Oh God.
Are you sure? I mean, that actually doesn't sound bad.
That's a big call out. I'm kind of sorry, but not really.
The reality sets in.
You had some
Yeah.
personal problems came out of today's
Anyways,
episode.
That's my trauma. Let's move on.
hand job?
a couple, man.
Church. Oh no. But yeah, man. So farming. Your dad was a farmer. Your family's farmers, and you kind of just like you said, followed in their footsteps.
Yeah.
Like, you were from a little young guy, right? Like little boy, probably in a tractor. You were out doing some shit in a fucking farm field, like.
Binky in one hand and bush light in the other hand.
You said you started out farming with your dad. So like, what crops was your dad farming?
So I mean, a lot of people around here do is beans and corn.
Yeah.
So, they do that every year, and I mean, that's just a basic in the Midwest.
What was like the biggest thing that your dad taught you when you first started like learning about farming that's like stuck in your head?
You're not holding the light right, dickhead.
Move faster, damn it!
Don't fuck up and try not to break shit to where you have to spend money to fix it.
There you go.
Yeah, I know your dad. He probably would say some
Typical
shit like.
Midwest farm dad.
I mean,
fuck it up.
What you fucking doing, dummy? Fucking.
I never really thought of that. Like, that's just one of those things that he just taught me so much growing up, and they all just stuck. Just make sure you do it this way. Make sure you don't mess it up that way, and just everything you can think of.
Do it
There's
right.
not
Don't fuck it up.
exactly.
Yeah, it's more.
Like
just don't fuck it
there
up.
isn't a one specific thing that even my uncles or my grandpa have taught me over the years growing up that has not stuck in my head the entire time.
So and obviously farming as like a whole thing has resonated with you. What about farming is just like appealing? I guess I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if there's anything appealing about it.
Shit sucks.
Everybody has, it's fun, but
Until it breaks.
until it breaks, yeah. Well, it's just, I guess it's just satisfying. Like, you got your own piece of property, and you have so many things you can do with it. You can build a fucking, you can build a truck shop.
Oh, we don't give a fuck here, man.
give a
This
fuck.
is
I'm
open. This is an
fucking
open.
say
I'm trying not to do it constantly, though.
No,
But
man.
you can, you either want to build a shop here, you want to build a house here, or you want to build a farm here, or you just want to farm it in general. So, it's just one of those things that it's just a piece of me that you don't want to do. I don't know. I just
Yeah,
part of
yeah.
you.
It's part of me. That's all I can say.
Your
It's just
family's done it, and you just it's part of your identity. Like that's what you want to do. right?
exactly. It's
Yeah.
everybody has their own ways that what they grew up on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he probably started growing up on cars and stuff like
Yeah, it
that.
was mostly cars for me, but like, I mean, it's probably you, like you said, if you were riding in a tractor when you were 4 or 5,
Yeah.
whatever, hanging out on the wheel well or hanging out in the cab. I mean,
Eating
that
French
shit-
fries in the rim.
Yeah,
Your fondest
right.
memories, right?
Yeah.
Right, those
exactly.
are exactly that shit doesn't leave you, and it's like you're probably not gonna like. Bojo was asking about one thing, but there's just so much that
Yeah.
you probably remember it all as one whole like.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
just like farming growing up, and like you didn't know nothing else, and I don't want to know nothing else because
Right. I mean, it's always nice to know a little bit extra,
Yeah, it
but
is,
It's
but-
just that one thing you always got to stick
Right.
with.
Here's a random one, Smokey. Think about it now. When we used to ride on our grandpas or your dad, your uncles, on the old John Deeres, with no cab, and you're sitting on the fender, and it clearly states on the fender, do not sit
on the fender.
And you're sitting there just
Yeah.
going just 15 down the road,
Yep.
and you're just, woo, this
Yep.
is awesome. And at any point, you know, they're like, you hang on, or it's
You're
not
gone.
your
It's
problem.
done.
Yeah, you're done.
'Cause you fall under that tire. You're
And then you grab you just having every grip on the fender. You got like all your hands around it. You got your butt cheeks clenched to it.
Holding
Like,
onto the seat.
Holding on to the
Yeah,
seat.
see, you're like, oh
That
shit.
was suction cup.
did your dad, grandpa, uncles? I know my grandpa always said, he's like, if the tractor's moving and it's running, do not yell unless it's emergency.
right.
He was always adamant about do not yell
Yeah.
if it's emergency.
Really?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
because then you're like,
Because then now you grab his attention
Yeah.
from what he was doing, and he's
then-
got to look.
Yeah, and then
Taylor-
that's no
my
bueno.
brother did it.
yelled while he was working.
He scared the living shit out of my grandpa. He was bringing the 30-10 up from doing something, and he comes running up and jumps on the 3-point on the back of the tractor, just and my grandpa almost beat the hell out of him. You little son of a bitch!
I didn't know that was like a big thing not to yell. I feel like I'm always yelling because people are always doing something stupid.
I mean, my family yells, but it's not like the scaring yelling. It's more of like, goddamn cocksucker, why did you want?"
yeah, why are you fucking this up? That's the number one thing you haven't forgot is the ass whoopings and the
Yelled at.
yellings. Yeah, the
Oh
constant.
yeah, you're getting yelled at over stuff that like you don't even, you didn't even meant to do or didn't even know. Like it's not right.
You were
It's-
just being you, and
Yeah, you were just-
now you're getting yelled at.
Well,
Like,
now you know not to do it like that.
Yeah. So, okay, you know our buddy Chew. We had him on as a guest too. Glad
Yeah.
to have you on because it's almost we're comparing sides. Like he grew up as a farmer in one side, and then you doing also the same like deal but differently. Is it like? Do you think this style of living is just way different than other people live? Like I'd say so, right? Like not
I would
everybody's
say
a farmer, right?
not everybody's a farmer. Like, and even so, like, everybody has their own type of farming too. Like everybody's just different.
Yeah, different farming.
Yeah,
so like,
like-
you don't
farming.
farm like corporate, or
Yeah.
you're not an animal farmer. Like you do
No,
crops, right? Or
Yeah.
do you guys
Well, we have beef
hogs?
cattle,
Or beef cattle.
beef
Yeah.
cattle, and well,
Hogs.
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 Yeah, hogs is probably a whole different.
well, technically, yeah, my uncle does hogs. Like we haven't done it my entire life growing up. I think he started, I don't know, when I was like maybe in high school, right out of high school, but.
he still
beef-
got them.
Yeah,
Still
oh yeah,
got-
he
okay.
still does it. He goes to all the fairs and all that and shows them, and
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, kids still do it. My
Yeah,
cousins.
that's what like I think people don't understand that that's a whole different world of like the repair world or the maintenance world, and then just like the farmers that kind of keep everybody fed and everything. It's like you guys aren't just everybody's just out here planting corn or planting a soybean or cotton if you're down south. They could be oranges in Florida to I don't know Idaho potatoes. It's like every farmer
Rice
does
in
their
China.
peaches.
rice in China. Yeah, like
Georgia peaches.
Peaches and
Yeah.
Georgia. A lot of people don't realize, like, oh, well, they're just going out there and putting shit into the ground. No, there's a lot of science
It is
behind
science.
it.
Oh, a lot more science.
Because
to
you
it.
need to know exactly what, like, you don't think of it this way. Like, Alex will know. If you grab the wrong, say, corn and beans, because that's what his family does, if you put the wrong type of bean into the ground, it's not going to grow right. Your yield is going to be atrocious. The
Right.
wrong corn going in the ground, it's going to be horrible. And then past when you've planted it, if you don't put the right pesticides, the right weed killer, the
Right fertilizer.
right,
Yeah.
it's not going to grow. You're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
kill it. It's just going to ruin what you've already.
So each bean or each like plant is specific to even okay.
seed,
so it
yeah.
doesn't matter if it's soybean. If you don't put the right soybean with the
Yes.
right kind of
Yeah.
because
stuff.
a lot of people like, and this is really child's play about thinking about it. When we've played, like, and this is funny, farm sim, you know how you'll take soil samples?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what farmers will do. They'll take the soil sample and they'll send that off
Oh,
to the-
that's when it tells you your levels, your nitrogens,
Yeah, your
and all.
nitrogen,
Yes.
your pH
And then-
value,
and then your seed company will come in and be like, this is
This is
based
what we
off of
recommend.
based off of what your ground is showing, this is what we recommend.
So then the seed guys come out and then they hook you up with the seed.
yeah, basically.
Okay, but okay, so
And like even for corn seeds too, there's different types of like numbers and types of like what each seed can do.
Oh, yeah.
When you plant it, it's
Really?
crazy.
So,
Like,
like, how
it's
it
not
grows
just
and
like
stuff?
it's not just like one of each, like corn, beans. It's like different types of corn.
corn A, corn B,
Yeah,
corn C.
yeah,
corn,
basically,
and
yeah.
really?
How
Some of
many
these-
breeds of corn are there?
There's
It's
hundreds.
probably-
A lot.
I had no
Hundreds.
yeah.
Are they like
Lots.
Damn.
I pictured like two. I picture ethanol corn and then I picture food
Nope.
corn.
Oh.
You know what I'm
have
saying?
yeah.
Like,
regular standard corn, but there's many variations of that, and then you have non-GMO corn.
okay.
Now, and non-GMO corn it's a very pricey thing to plant, to grow. It's a little more complicated than standard corn. And going into like each like sub-product of those corn, like when they get down to the seed, even the seed company will go, okay, you could buy seed, and sometimes it'll come pre-coated in
Pre-seasoned.
yeah,
They've
with weed
basically-
killer and pesticides.
Yeah.
Battered.
It has that
That's
in
insane.
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
we're-
didn't know I did.
You have, say, corn or beans that say this was all sand here. It's meant for being grown in sand.
Meant for being
or clay,
Or
or
clay.
This corn
red
grows in
dirt
sand. Really?
dark
nine
brown
yards,
dirt.
yeah.
And yeah.
So okay, so you guys deal with all. I had no idea.
Yeah, there's a huge sign. Like,
I'm like,
it's not
didn't
just
know.
putting some shit in the ground and
As far as like the simulate farming simulator, I mean,
Yeah, no,
I've taken a soil
you can't
sample.
you can't push H in life and hire somebody to do it for you.
Yeah, you gotta get out there.
You gotta get up and do it.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a real sign.
I mean,
Like,
you could if you're a big enough farm.
So
yeah,
right,
Yeah, I guess so, but
So your family did corn and beans.
yeah.
Okay, very standard.
Sometimes, like I guess certain times of the year, they can people do wheat too.
Oh, is that the winter? You mentioned
The
winter,
wheat. So
winter
like
wheat.
now would be a good time to plant wheat actually.
because it's winter, right?
'Cause it's
That's
winter,
why
and
it's
it'll
called
grow
winter.
over the winter, and then you
Okay.
harvest it what June, July,
yeah,
around that
Like
time.
middle of next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, wheat grows. He mentioned it the other day, and I thought it was a
it
joke
it
from
won't-
like
yeah, it won't grow during the winter. It
it's
stays.
like it's like
It
German.
stays in
it's
the
like
ground.
yeah,
it's like
it like
hibernating.
germinates
It's like
during
yeah.
the winter,
Yep.
and then as soon as spring hits and the ground thaws,
It's so-
it's immediately starting.
Pop
to
up.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
And then you think
Yeah.
of it this way too now.
Do we grow wheat around here?
Yes.
Oh,
we-
yeah.
there's
Not a
ton
lot of people do it
yeah.
because there's not a lot of money in it.
Right.
It's more for animals, for the most part.
Because of the grain?
Yeah, you can bale it. You
Yeah.
can. You can even throw it in a wagon and then put it in your planter and replant it if you wanted to.
Yep.
That's how
Oh,
crazy
really?
wheat is.
Yeah, it's a very recyclable.
like it's its own
crop.
seed. It's
That's
pretty
cool.
crazy.
I
Think of
didn't
it
know
this
that.
way. So, beans require a lot less nitrogen in the soil to grow. They create their own nitrogen when they're growing. Corn requires and you'll see a bunch tanker sprayers, not actual just throwing dry shit out. I mean, you can too, and Alex knows about this as well because he does it a lot. But corn requires a shit ton of nitrogen to grow. A lot.
A lot.
So that's why you'll see farmers, they'll, I can't remember the actual terminology for it, but they'll swap crops in fields.
Crop rotation.
That's, yes.
Yeah.
So you'll
I'm
plant.
sorry. Are you a farmer?
Dude, I know some dumb
He
shit
went to
about a lot of
Nashville
things.
once.
I see you play Farming Simulator too.
I played it one time and now
One
I'm
time,
an
and then
expert.
you're a professional.
Yeah, so that's the reason they do that, because so you plant beans, you'll go and it enriches the soil with nitrogen. So then you'll switch to corn the next year because it's rich in nitrogen.
So I
Yeah.
learned that I learned that from a video game I play that's not Farm Sim.
Sure.
But it's a village simulator, and one of the biggest things is agriculture. So you have to make man operated farms.
And that's
Is it
And you
simply-
learn nitrogen
I
levels.
learned that you have to do crop rotation because if you keep planting corn, it'll deplete the soil.
Yep.
And you won't have anything left over for the
Oh,
next
that
round.
makes yeah.
Yep.
You have to
And that's-
re-rich the soil.
Yep, and that's kind of what wheat is for too. It helps bring nutrients back into the
Yeah.
ground.
Gotcha.
By the way,
Corn or beans won't allow. So that's a lot of the time. I mean, you're not going to see it a lot around here anymore. Wheat has is a really dying.
It's a dying
Like,
breed in a way.
Yeah,
But
it's
we
out
have,
there.
to, we have to live off
why
of it
we
too.
need bread?
Yeah,
Right.
bread.
Well, at that
Flour,
point,
you
you
can't go
have-
without pasta, man.
have-
Are you
Do they
kidding me?
just grow it in labs or whatever?
Kinda,
I
yeah.
wouldn't
I
be
mean,
surprised.
greenhouses?
Yeah.
Think about it.
Hydroponics.
Yeah,
Think about it.
hydroponics,
The seeds-
aquaponics.
for any of the other crops are in a lab before
Yeah, I
they
mean,
come out.
Well, yeah, they like you said, they're genetically modified.
Oh, absolutely.
The most
Yeah.
popular
You would
ones are
not,
GMOs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a difference between genetically modified or genetically grown.
Yeah.
Like, because some people,
Yeah.
they'll create it and then you go out and plant it, or they'll create it and then they'll plant it themselves and plant it their way and try to
And that-
speed the process
and this-
up to make money.
And that's on the farmer then?
Yep.
So
Oh.
the farmer can decide or choose
Yeah,
to grow
yeah,
it.
basically.
Interesting.
Here's one way to and I know you guys have seen it. when you're going down the road when the crops are coming up, you'll see those weird seed signs. You'll see them all down the road.
Yep.
You'll see different ones.
Different
because the
brands
farmer
and all
is
that.
testing. He took a couple of passes with the planter.
92,
with each
180.
different seed.
It's like a hydrophile or whatever, 192, whatever.
He's testing because the seed guy was like, hey, I think these all could work, but let's give it a shot. And they'll grow certain rows of whatever the hell it was and be like, this one didn't do so well. We're going to stay away from that.
Every time we have a farmer around, like I learned like so much, I had no idea. Okay, but let's go back to farming in a second because I do want to talk about the repair world and farming obviously takes up a lot of maintenance and repair and doing the shit.
A lot of equipment, right?
A lot of equipment.
A lot
But
of money.
before we get to the equipment, and now that because you're back into farming, where do you think you started your repair world, your repair maintenance industry? Like you had a shitty high school car, the truck. You had the truck that
Grey Goose.
The Grey Goose.
The Grey Goose.
It was an old F-250 with
1990 Ford F-250
with two gas tanks.
Two gas tanks.
Only one of them worked.
Only one of them, yeah,
worked.
because the other one pissed.
Even though the
everywhere.
one worked, it still leaks. Like you can smell the gas out of it.
Going down the road was a bomb, dude. I think it'd have gone out like
yeah,
a
for
matchbox at any
But
minute.
God forbid my uncle drove that through a barn. But other than
You know
that-
what's funny? All of the Fords your family had were pieces of shit.
But they ran for like
The
ever.
yeah, they did. The Exploder,
The Exploder, yeah.
the Grey Goose.
Yeah.
The van, remember the
van.
van? The van?
my God.
He had a Ford Windstar with a handbrake. Dude, that was a fun winter. No.
Oh yeah, even going down here to the pond next door, we were doing donuts with that thing.
Dude. So
Your family
on the
lived
lake.
by Ford for a little bit, and I don't know why.
Not me.
The pond.
That's the one thing I did not take on was the Ford.
Oh man.
Chevy through and through.
So, growing up, you had maybe a couple shitbox cars or something, but it all like you were still kind of tinkering with stuff outside the farm world, right? Yeah, I mean, you were trying to make sure the fucking truck kept running. You were like, we'll talk about the boats, and if you guys don't know, this is my buddy from My Buddy's Bayliner.
Yep, I'm the Buddy Bayliner.
Yeah, he's
Bayliner buddy.
Smokey. We go fishing all the other videos. Check them out in the
Oh,
links.
yeah.
But yeah, so it wasn't like just boats up today and the farm equipment. It was like the truck running or fucking
Oh, I think it was like almost everything.
everything.
Like,
yeah.
Starting from, I think farm equipment was like how I started, and then like cars, and I think I worked on like like a cheap little go kart, like a little 2-stroke, but
Give me 2 strokes.
Yeah.
and then just on and on and on. I just
Kind of doing anything. and
doing
everything.
anything, whatever just comes my way, I just got to work on it, like going from working on a piece of crap Ford that practically fell apart every time you drove it down the road to now like working on new vehicles and stuff and new
Yeah.
equipment. So
Nobody, that truck has a button in it that this generation will never know what it does. It's on the floor next
Oh.
to your. Next
Oh,
to
your old
The
F-250.
floor brights.
the
the
floor
floor
brights.
floor
Yep.
brights.
Yeah.
Kids today will never know what that was for.
My '78 pickup had floor brights.
Yeah. Floor brights.
Floor brights.
Yeah.
Floor brights.
Yeah, you don't know how long it took for me to know that was brights.
Yeah. You never. You're like I can't see shit.
Yeah, I was like, how come everybody else has brights and I don't? Like, what the fuck is this shit?
The pickup truck I had was weird because you hit the floor brights to turn on the brights, like to have them on, but there was still a switch on the steering wheel to
It's
flash
like a
them.
double toggle.
Yeah, but it didn't stay on. You just could flash
Just
them.
flash people, not that kind of way, but
Hey man,
you're
I'll take it if I
flashing
can get it.
everybody.
You don't know me.
You
Said it in
don't
the beginning.
So I had an old junky truck, got another truck. Didn't you blow a motor in the one Chevy?
I didn't blow it. Somebody else blew it.
Oh, okay.
Your
never-
brother blew.
No, he wrecked that
Or was it
thing.
your-
No, that was one of our buddies in high
Oh,
school.
yeah!
His uncle did. We were out mudding in like one
We
of
got
the
it
fields and all
stuck.
that stuff, and he got his stuck first, and I was trying to find a way around the wet spot, and then
You
I
got
didn't go on the other side. I was trying to go straight in the middle.
Didn't I take the car out in that same field?
You took your
Yeah, you took the neon out
I
there.
took the neon out. I was mudding with the neon.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Front wheel drive, stick shift, and I was mudding with it. It looked like the car shit when I was
That
done.
thing got through everything.
Everybody was like, "How the fuck?"
But your truck got stuck.
Yeah, and then
you
like
blew
the
them
guy,
in?
well, no, the guy, like his uncle got in there and was just like flooring it all the way out. I'll get it out, just like flooring the pedal all the way to the ground until the thing started messing up. And then the following day, I just turned my truck and all you hear is I'm like, what the fuck truck.
That thing's broke.
Well, that thing is busted, so I went.
Rod knocked to hell.
Yeah,
thing's
so we went and took
huge.
that and replaced that, and that was like a $5,000 job.
The motor was?
Yeah, there was swap
Oh,
motors.
man.
They took it to a kind of a janky shop, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
back when it was still there.
Yeah, we weren't pulling motors and that. We would have probably done it now.
Oh yeah, I mean,
But like, damn, I didn't know that your truck blew up or I forgot the situation with the uncle and it wasn't you. I always keep
Yeah.
thinking it's like you that blew a motor and then you got stuck with trying to fix a motor.
man, I'm a perfect driver. I don't blow shit up.
yeah, okay.
Just dudes.
Maybe this guy, but
Didn't you end up, not the, because that was the Chevy.
yeah, so that was '98 Chevy K1500. There's a specific K.
There's a four-wheel drive. Yeah, it was
Yep.
a four-wheel drive, not the C to C.
Not
You
the
ended
C.
up wrecking that out, didn't you?
My brother
Because
did.
you ended up,
I ended up scrapping it.
yeah,
Yes.
because your brother ran it through a ditch.
But like that truck went through so much stuff. I had to, yeah. After a couple boozes later,
Like bend the fucking
yeah, the
axle.
frame was spent.
He bent
Not
the
the
frame
axle,
on
the
it.
frame. He bent the
frame on
frame
the
and
truck.
yeah, it went through. I
Did
think
you
he,
fix that?
Fuck no. He
Took
he
that-
hopped a ditch or a field entrance too.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is a random tangent, and I don't mean to throw us off pace. I believe we were either in the wind. No, were we in my vehicle or your vehicle when we were going to Subway when Dustin was following us?
Oh, we were in my truck. We
Yeah,
were that
we were in-
truck. It was that truck.
Yeah. So random tangent. Winter out, and we were going to town to go eat Subway.
My brother and his best friend were ahead of us.
And
What car was
no,
that?
they're behind us.
No, that was
Oh, no,
Dustin.
'cause
That was Dustin
Terry
and Billy.
and it was Terry.
Yeah, Terry and Kyle was ahead of us. Me and you in the middle, and then
Watch the
Terry.
Terry and Billy
fuck
were
is this
behind us.
going?
Your brother and Dustin were in front of us.
Yeah.
So
No,
we
no,
were,
no. Terry and Kyle were in front of us.
Doesn't matter
Dustin-
who
Oh,
was
yeah,
in
'cause
front
we
of
were
who.
following.
Okay, so but that part of
we
the
were going down
podcast.
the road,
Off
and
the
it was snowy
situation.
as shit, and there was this really tight S curve. Billy and Terry didn't know it was there. We did, and we see them hauling ass in this old ass Riata, and they were just going.
Oh, the Buick Riata.
and we
I
were
love
going. We're
those
like,
cars.
are they
Those
going to
are cool
see it?
cars.
Are they going to see it? And you
Didn't
can
even
see
slow
the
down,
car
no brake
disappear
lights.
and then go. He went through the ditch, like cleared the ditch, went into a
Yeah.
field,
And
and
then
then just kept trucking.
Yeah, they drove it out of the field. I'm like, what just happened?
We're just sitting in
my
his truck
God.
like, oh my God, what happened? They cleared the ditch. Like, and it was a
broke,
deep
nothing
ditch.
broke.
They cleared
They
it.
cleared. They like.
They
flew
were doing
over
like
it.
90, and
They
they
must have
just
been hauling. Yeah, that's smart
Yeah.
while it's snowing and blizzard.
Yeah, but
out.
it wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't frozen ground, or like it wasn't frozen or anything. It was just fresh powder, I think.
Right, that's worse.
yeah, that's
okay,
just, oh, that gives us the perfect excuse. Fucking pedal to the
dude,
metal.
it was. I just thought of it. Sorry, it's random
Yeah.
tangent.
I'm
'cause I just
actually
thought
really
of it.
excited to experience snow in the Crown Vic. Just so you
Just
guys
to
are aware.
sandbag your trunk.
Just make sure you
Just
have
put-
your lights on too.
Yeah,
Make it look like you're in a car chase.
only for movie use.
Yeah, movie use, movie
For
use.
podcast purposes
That's
only.
only exactly.
Viewer
So-
discretion is advised.
Okay, so shit box cars. I had to fix some stuff. Got some stuff. Yeah, we didn't know how to change a motor when we were in high school or whatever. Shit happens. You go get it fixed, and then I'm guessing you did what some other shit, right? Like you before
Yeah,
the
down the line,
because
yeah.
now you're back to kind of being a farmer. So like in the middle, he became a certified forklift driver or something.
Certified forklift
Yeah, I'm a
operator.
certified
He worked
forklift.
with you twice.
Yeah, I know. We worked at a forklift place together.
Technically, he worked with me.
Okay.
Yeah,
I started
yeah,
there
he started
first, so
first.
he worked with
Yeah.
me.
No, so that was the forklifting.
Yeah.
The second time
was
you
the
guys
truck shop.
Was the truck shop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but then well, whatever. I hated that place.
Oh, I think
I
it's
mean,
just bad management during
Yeah,
that time.
yeah, it's just it wasn't my. Obviously, you guys know how my take is on people and how the work environment can be.
You're not a diesel man.
No, I was though forever.
Yeah, but you hated
but
it
like,
more than everything else.
Yeah.
no, I mean it's debatable. Do you-
I guess it just depends
Maybe
on the
not
place
the
you
work,
work.
but the culture. Like,
Yeah, I
diesel
think
culture is
Diesel
fucked.
culture is worse, or not worse. They're just different than the car guys, and it's like way different than motorcycle guys, way different than farmer guys.
Yeah.
But so we've worked at a couple places. You drove a forklift though, so you did all that. You like experienced some of that shit. We didn't fix forklifts. Never. Did you fix forklifts? No. You did some shit at the truck shop, so you've worked in truck shops.
Yeah, change tires, change brakes, oil changes.
So you know the heavy duty, the diesel truck. Yeah, and fucking change
About
tires
time. It took your sweet ass time.
to get into the repair
Get
world.
into the
Yeah.
semi-truck world.
He's like, and he already hates it.
He already hates
It's been there like a month. You're like, fuck that place. But so you did a kind of number of weird, goofy shit. Did you like the truck stuff?
Yeah, I do. I does. To a point, I guess. It's, that was another thing, too. I guess I kind of followed my dad's footsteps because he was a truck driver, too, growing up. Or not growing up, me growing up. And
He grew up as a truck driver.
he had a baby seat and everything.
Yeah,
shifted
right.
gears.
Trucking since the age of 2.
But, yeah, it's just, and then he went from driving and then went to being a diesel mechanic, and that's what he still does. Well, in his words, I do everything around here. But, yeah. And then,
parts guy,
that's
the
how I
paper
guess,
guy.
yeah, everything.
Parts
And
runner.
Part runner.
Should've been a-
Operator.
Oh, yeah, right.
I could have been in the union, but I still stuck with this shit.
So, I mean, do you want to talk? Like, you want to talk because he got you in the shop? Or,
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
he helped me get in there. He
Yeah.
helped me got the job, and that's when I started learning how to work on semi-trailers and semi-trucks.
Yeah.
And
I think it kind of sucks.
it does and it doesn't. Like, it just depends on the job. Where
Yeah.
if you're trying to take a bolt off of a rusty thing and trying not to break it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's fucking snap.
To-
We also don't work on trash trucks, or we didn't work
No.
on. So, like, that's a different level of suck.
Yeah.
It was just
I do.
trash truck. Well, you've probably touched trash trucks. Yeah, that's a shitty fucking. That's a shitty job. I'm sorry, and I respect everybody who does that. Any kind of landfill or like waste management. Fuck, you
I
guys
work
are.
on anything that drives in.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, you're different from the fleet
Yeah.
side,
But that's why you get the big bucks for that stuff. To
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, not working on, not you. I'm saying driving it, but
So it wasn't bad. It wasn't good.
it was 50-50.
50-50, some shitty
it was-
days,
About
some
where
bad.
we're at
It,
with that.
it just depends on the day, and it just
Yeah,
depends
every
on
day.
the person.
Did you ever
who-
break anything while you were there?
Does a rocking horse have a wooden dick? Yeah, I broke a lot of shit.
Oh.
Hit.
What was the like? Okay.
You can't. Do you have a story?
I need to
Yeah,
I
it's-
need to formulate this question.
right, because you're
What's
gonna.
I can tell
what's the
you.
most fucked up thing? The brokenest shit that happened at your trucking job. We're gonna do this probably for each of your jobs.
Okay, I'm
At
done.
the- wait, like at where he's driving or where he's working? Like
where
fixing?
he was working
At the diesel
At
shop.
the diesel shop.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think I know.
Is it how the one I lost my job for that reason?
Oh, it's up to you want to talk about.
I will tell you.
Okay, no, this was a different one
You
actually.
don't gotta
but-
dive into losing your job or whatever.
I don't care.
I'm like, ooh, drama. No.
I don't care. It's messed up though. It wasn't even our trucks either for that. It was a different
is this
truck.
one? Yeah.
And what was I doing? Was I changing the wheels? No, I think I was changing brakes or something. Like, I did everything right. Changed the brakes out, changed the pads, put a new drum on, put the tires back on. Did everything right. The only thing I did not do that I guess I was supposed to do, but they didn't enforce it as much until after that, was torque the lug nuts tight.
Oh my gosh.
Torgan lug.
Yeah.
You
and
know what's
Mario yells at me for that every time I do my anything.
Yeah,
you torque
I-
your lugs.
It's pretty important.
torque 'em?
Well,
If I don't see you ugga-dugga the hell out of them, yeah, you should torque your wheels.
and
always torque my
So you
finding
got-
out like a couple days later, a driver drove down the road and his wheels fell off.
So that's what you got. You got.
Yeah, that's
caught
when I
up
got
in losing.
canned for that. But
No shit. You lost both wheels on the drive.
I think it was just the one.
I think that's the best story we've gotten for brokenest shit.
Sucks, man.
It
That's
sucks,
broken
dude.
as
and
shit.
yeah, and
That's-
You know what's
Sucks.
crazy, Smokey? For my job, if that happens, if we have a wheel off situation, not only are we fired, but if somebody gets hurt, we are criminally charged.
Oh,
because
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
now a
you-
federal crime.
Yeah,
Right.
you can be charged.
I'm
for
sure they would have been too because it was another company's truck,
Hmm.
but they associate with them basically. So it might
Yeah.
have been the same concept, but
Yeah, the idea of losing some shit, especially for something that's Department of Highway Transport, so like a semi truck or a bus, you lose a fucking tire or wheel. I mean, it's serious. You took it seriously.
Oh,
Like,
I did.
Maybe it was like a little shitty, and especially you don't want to lose your job, but like, I mean, now you're like, well,
the foreman had it out for me anyway since
right.
03,
But yeah, I had that same situation there. I mean, I have a situation where I almost dropped a van off a lift, so like. Shit can, yeah, right. Like shit'll. I don't know if I've ever told that story on the podcast yet,
Not
but
on the
it'll come up.
podcast.
It'll come up. So yeah, man, it's kind of the worst way and toughest way to learn, especially if nobody told you the very most important step. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, but that's just
if they're like, if you do not disconnect this from this, you will die. And then they're like, we won't tell him that. He'll figure it out. You know?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Now you're fucking stuck.
Yeah, but that was the messed up part was it was brought up in conversation a couple times there. It's just like, they want, we need to torque the lug nuts on this thing, but we don't really do that all the time here, so it's okay if you don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So
like, I know it
Did
came up.
the
like
person that
shitty
tell you that
training.
get fired too? Because fuck that
no.
guy.
Yeah.
They've been there longer than I have,
Everybody
so-
was probably saying it to you, right?
Yeah, a
Everybody
couple
was like,
people-
"Oh, fuck it."
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I guess it depends on the So, like, if you're using a obviously hopefully you were using a 1-inch impact.
Yeah, like
That's all we
a
got.
Yeah, a big
Yeah.
air.
Yeah.
I mean,
Even with the 1-inch impact, it still wasn't enough.
that's interesting because
Yeah, usually unless
ours puts
suck it right in.
Ours will, like our guns at our shop can almost put torque down to about 600 foot-pounds.
Yeah, like
If
you
you
just
let it go.
hammer it in.
Well, there was probably something in there that they didn't tell me.
There are guns that are restricted.
yeah, guns are restricted, or maybe the compressor was dying. You don't know. Maybe you only.
Yeah,
had
there is a
60
bunch of different scenarios to that,
Scenarios,
yeah.
but
It coulda
I
happened.
will never know the true meaning of it, and
Yeah,
I never will.
whatever, right? Like learn your
It's in
lesson.
the past.
Like,
It is what
Yeah,
it is.
right.
It is
Now
what it
you-
is, and
now you take your time. Now, and the thing is, no, I even commented like now you'll fucking call me or somebody and be like, does this look right? And I'll be like, whoa, good thing you called me because it's happened before.
there's so many times where
Yeah.
I'm just not 100% of my work.
Yeah,
and like, dude, I need a second pair of eyes, and I need a second opinion for
Yeah.
this.
and
Whether-
that's just a good
Whether
life.
it's you for vehicles or you for computer stuff or
Yeah.
you for whatever, like hand jobs, I guess. But hey, did I grab this right?
Come on.
I'll be his second opinion.
Or it's whatever I need your help with something too. If
Do
I
you need one hand or two?
Definitely not two, but
Am
I
supposed to spit
appreciate
on it first,
and I-
or should I just smooth into it? Yeah. So it always helps to have another opinion.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's always nice to have another opinion.
Yeah.
If you're not certain of something, ask.
Yeah.
Ask somebody who
I do
does
that.
know or is close enough to
I'll
it.
do that every day in the shop. I'll be like, I think that's right, and I'll grab like Chewy or one of our other guys that's been there longer. Be like,
One of the
hey,
master
can you
guys.
come over and take a look at this? I don't know if that's right. I just
Just come
yeah,
double
just
check
take
my
a look.
work.
And they'll come over. No, that's right. Yeah, no, you did what you were supposed to. Or they'll be like, no, that's completely fucked. We're
Yeah,
stopped
we
right
gotta
there.
stop. Right, you could be way worse.
And they
if
might give you crap for like messing up that
Yeah.
one, and we have to get a new one.
Yeah.
But
It's
it's
safer.
It's
It's-
safer.
yeah,
It's
right.
safer that they won't find out or have something happen to them on the road, and then
Right.
you'd be taking the consequences at the worst part.
Hell, tonight, while I was at work, this guy had a flat tire on his trailer. I'm like, okay. I kind of guessed that it had been flat for a while because it's just off rim. You
Yeah.
know, their bead's not set. A flat tire.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, pulled it off. He's like, it's flat. Can you figure out why it's flat? I'm like, yeah, sure. Our policy is if it's flat, our policy is if it's under 80% of inflation, you have to pull it off the rim and
Inspect
the
it,
tire.
internal inspection.
So I
Even the
pulled it
rim,
off.
too.
Yeah, the rim could be banged
Yeah.
up or fucked
So
up.
Bent or cracked or-
Yeah, or whatever.
I pulled
anything.
the rim off and I'm looking at the tire and I immediately see a nail in the tread. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That'd probably be the reason. So pulled it off the rim, pulled the nail out, drilled it out, put a plug in. It's like, all right, put it in the tire cage because that's a safety measure. You don't want 100 psi blowing. in your face.
Fuck it. Don't be a man. Stand next to it with the nozzle
man.
holding too. Yeah.
But
So you cage the tire to
cage
fill
the
it
tire,
up.
put it in, hit it, set it to 100 psi. It got to about 40, 45 psi, and you just hear all of the cords break. And I'm like, oh! And on our
Yeah.
on our
Like a
on
weird
our
popcorn.
our machine, it's an auto inflator. It has a collar you can drop to let the air out, so it stops inflating the tire. And I immediately pulled it and backed up, and the tire just boom.
Yeah, it's
no.
fucking
And
crazy.
it didn't
man.
even get to full pressure. It just got to 40 psi and just exploded.
diluted.
Without that cage, he would have been Swiss cheese.
Yeah. I know.
Maybe. Nah, it would have fucking hurt. Maybe messed you up. I've seen
Break
it
some
happen.
bones. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a lot of pressure moving.
Right.
There was that video that was just circulating recently. That guy was standing next to a truck tire and it exploded, and he fucking died.
Yeah, it
It'll
happened.
happen.
People were getting there was oil activists. You know those people that stand in the middle of the road with orange shirts and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
They were going around like in Europe with drilling out semi tires and getting fucked up because the second they break through,
pressure.
the
The
pressure.
PSI.
Yeah. So like,
Well, it teaches you to mess with my
it
rig.
teaches you to mess with people's shit and drill tires
Yeah,
and
right.
like.
I wouldn't
Anyways,
even want to stab it.
people, be careful. Obviously, be careful around truck tires. If any of you've heard probably like a loud bang going down the highway, there's probably like a truck tire coming apart next to you somewhere. Because you're like, what the? And then you see like the shreds of fucking rubber and stuff.
Road
getting
gators.
let-
Road gator.
Yeah,
I
road
was
gator.
thinking of
Yeah,
that.
I know the road gators will jump up and get you. So shitty situations happen in shops, but we can learn from those mistakes.
Absolutely.
Right? We can always use it as a learn. And then don't learn everything yourself. If there's a guy that's telling you he's done it 1,000 times, maybe fucking listen to him for like a second.
To a point.
For
'cause
like a second, yeah. If you want to try it your way, he's probably gonna be like, whatever. But like,
I would have done it this way.
Yeah,
I
I
guess
would've-
that's okay.
yeah, I guess that's right. Well, there's always guys that shit on you because they didn't do it. You didn't do it exactly
supposed
their
to do
way.
it this way,
And
not
you're
that
like,
way.
dude, chill out. But like, the guy who's done it probably 1,000 times, I'm gonna at least listen to what he has to say before I commit to what I'm doing.
Right.
So
Or even ask how to show you to do it before
Yeah.
you do it. Just
So,
be safe.
You know, and to back on that, it's like maybe you've learned a way that works better than the way he said it, but maybe you can use what he said, be like, oh shit, I didn't think of that way. Maybe that'll help.
yeah, build
It's-
off the ideas.
It's always that extra help.
Hell,
Yeah.
you might learn him a
Yeah,
thing or
yeah.
two.
if he wants to learn.
It's all if he wants
Teach an
to.
old dog new tricks. You know.
They just won't admit it.
Yeah, that's true, right? Yeah, old guys are.
They might keep it to themselves and use it as their own thing
Right,
later
they'd be
on
like,
down the
"Oh,
line.
I figured
but
this out years ago, and you just fucking told them last week. Whatever.
How long you been doing that, man?
Yeah.
So moving on from that, I guess what are you doing now, man?
Yeah, farming still.
Are you
But-
farming for
full
yourself or are you farming for somebody else?
I am farming for somebody else. It was one of those things where this guy was going to help me get my CDL, and I couldn't do it. I had a hard time doing it on my own because
Well, the laws are crazy now.
now they are. I got it right at the brink of the end of the year before they did that.
Don't
Oh,
you have to
really?
renew it every year now?
No, it's still every couple of years. It's just
Is it? Did they fully put that into play? Now you have to go to a class.
Yep. They put that in.
And it's like a $4,000 class.
What year was that? Was that right after 21?
20
Is that every
something,
time you
20,
renew, you
21?
have to retake that class?
See,
I don't think you
know
have to
about
take
that.
the
I don't think you
class.
have to take the
When you
class.
get
I
it
think-
originally, I think.
Right.
I know certain times in your life you're gonna have to retake the written test to a certain age. Like I went and renewed mine last month and went up there like, hey, can I renew my license? Yeah. Here, take your picture over there.
Oh,
Oh, it's done. Oh yeah, I ain't,
that
don't
was
need to study for this crap no more. After a while.
This is for your CDL, right?
Yeah.
Okay, for viewers and listeners, yeah, this is for like a CDL and the B to have your driver's license to drive big trucks because you can't just take your normal car
Commercial
license.
driver's
Commercial,
license.
yeah, CDL, commercial driver license. So you had to go get a license, but like that was obviously a hurdle. You had to you can't just do it on your own now. You had to get somebody with a truck, and
Yeah.
farmers usually have trucks that move grain,
A
and
lot, yeah.
equipment and stuff. So,
I mean, for the driving portion, you need somebody with a truck, but you can take the written test. But nowadays, if you want to do that to the extent where you want to go over the road, you're gonna have to go to school for that. But if you want, there are some certain things you can get with limits. Like my coworker had one where it's just farming only, I think, and go certain distances or something like that. But
really,
Yeah.
so like you don't need an official CDL if you're just doing farming stuff.
yeah, I mean, it's still technically a CDL, but to a point.
but it's
Oh
different.
yeah, you can't travel
class
on
or whatever?
interstates and
Well,
you can't
I
go-
mean-
Yeah, it's just like
you can't go out of state with it.
Yeah,
and-
something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, and just certain limits. But
but it's still like a license,
yeah, it's still a license.
and you're still driving like a truck.
yeah,
Okay,
You still
okay.
drive like a regular CDL, but there's limits. That's just limits.
So it's like just another class of CDL.
Yeah, I mean you can't haul reefer or tank or anything like that.
Okay,
You
yeah,
have to
that makes sense.
Haul
'Cause
hoppers
you don't
or
have your
dump.
endorsements and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
But like, yeah, you're hauling grain or corn, whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
fertilizer. It doesn't matter.
Farming purposes.
Okay.
So what do you do on the farm that you work at?
I'm a driver. I haul grain, haul fertilizer, and
I would say more than that. You do.
Okay,
That's
I
the main
do-
role, right? Your
Yeah.
main role is
my main role is what I got hired on to do was be a truck driver.
Yeah.
But I do other stuff. But it's just to a point, like whatever I know how to do or not how to do.
well, if not, you figure
You
it
just do
out.
it anyway.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you
Part of
didn't-
the repair world, I changing fuel filters on a spreader, changing tires on a plow or changing shanks on a ripper.
Yeah, you just told me about this. I wanted to ask you about this. So, yeah, the other day you literally had to do
you'll
a repair.
love this.
Yeah, the other day you literally had to do a repair, like on farm equipment.
Yeah.
And it was. Well, go ahead, explain it to everybody, because I will fucking. I
Past
don't
2
know.
days, my boss texted me right after I took the one load the ethanol plant. He's like, "Go help this guy work on this field cultivator." All right, went on it.
Field cultivator is.
Actually, no, it's not field cultivator. Field cultivator is it's a plow before you plant. This is like a ripper. It kind of tears up the ground, kind of flips the soil, I guess you could say.
So it's not the same thing, but they kind of do the same
They-
thing.
yeah,
they both
they-
go in the dirt and like turn or move
Yeah.
soil.
The cultivator will have it has shovels instead of shanks.
Yeah.
Those will have. That's what you'll see. It'll have like the bunch of mini shovels
Okay.
that'll dig down and actually.
Okay.
But they don't go as deep
Yeah.
as this stuff does.
What he's doing is just a big giant metal shank, and it just
drags in.
digs and just pulls that
Interesting.
other.
Yeah,
the
that's
lower ground up.
Interesting.
The one,
Yeah.
the first one we went to, the bracket broke where it wouldn't even hold the shank anymore.
On one of those things.
Yeah,
Just
so like
giant
it's a spring thing too. Like it has springs on and everything, and like there's brackets, and then it holds a shank in there where you put a bolt through it. Well, that part broke off, and the shank went.
So you have
somewhere.
to weld a new one on.
Well, yeah, if you want to fix it or just replace it. But we have a little one that was in the shop. We just took it off of that one because it'll still work, and threw it on this one, and that thing was heavy.
They are not
Without the shank, heavy.
So it's just a big long metal rod then, basically.
That the shank is.
Imagine
Okay.
it's like so when like imagine you're like if you we've all done it. We've all been kids. You take your finger and just drag it through the dirt.
Yeah.
It's basically a big like cast iron steel fucking finger.
And it just drags it through the
Yep.
dirt.
Yep.
So that thing you had to replace and it broke off from the thing that held it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So had to take that thing off. It was being held on by U-bolts, and me and my buddy we had to manhandle that thing all the way up there.
A couple hundred pounds.
Couple hundred. Good lord, you need a crane to lift that fucker
Oh,
up.
I don't know how heavy.
Like a
I
little-
don't know
well,
what
you
it
have to
was.
think-
How much are each of the hooks weigh or whatever?
Yeah, how much
There's
is what-
multiple parts.
Yeah, there's
so
multiple
there's
parts.
the head, which is probably 50 pounds at least,
Yeah.
which is like this big.
Yeah.
And then you've got the actual shank arm, which is like another 50 to 100 pounds.
Jesus.
And then you have the rest of the assembly up top, which is another like 50 to 100 pounds.
So it
That's
just
like-
adds up to a couple hundred pounds.
Yeah. But this was with the shank off, so that arm off. So this is for two guys. This thing weighed a lot. You would not be able to lift it yourself.
Yourself,
You
really?
need two
It's
people
a
to lift
struggle,
up or
yeah.
a crane.
No kidding.
Well, like a little crane. But yeah. So we replaced that, put the new one on, took off, went to the other one, and not thinking how this one was going to end up looking. We just went out there and checked it out. There's a couple scrapers that are missing. This scraper is like a little square thing that goes against the disc to kind of keep dirt off of it. Two of them are broken, one of them is missing, and then there's on the shank there's this little metal bracket. It's kind of like a shield, I guess you could say. I can't remember shim. I think they're called shims, and we had to replace that. But the one thing that annoyed the crap out of me, and I just boodled everywhere. And it annoyed the crap out of me and annoyed my boss for sure because he was not happy we couldn't get it done. We had to change the bearings out on the disc.
Oh my
So this is a different piece of equipment now.
This is another part of the equipment.
Oh, you have like
same type of equipment. This is the
six
same type
come
of
along.
equipment.
But then the discs are in the back.
They're in the front. There's a row in the back and a row in the front. The shanks are in the middle.
Okay, so this is just one big
yep.
piece of equipment,
So
but
the
a
di-
bunch of shit's
the
going
disc,
on.
Yeah.
what the disc's purpose is to loosen the ground so you're not tearing those shanks apart
Right.
as much.
So this starts to split the dirt,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then the shanks follow
And
behind it.
you'll see all of the discs are kind of at a slight angle.
Yeah,
All
I've
of
seen
them.
that. I've
Yep,
seen it.
So
fall-
it'll
yeah.
cut the dirt up so you're not fucking those shanks up. The shanks will dig down and really grab the dirt, and then the discs on the back finish it off pretty much. And-
Spread it out. And
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to take that whole thing apart to replace those bearings, I imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
and they're in sections.
And this was the big one too.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's like a 5-foot section.
Yeah, so we couldn't. We had to take the three. There was three rows of where they were being held on. We had to take those bolts off, and then we got it off, move the plow out of the way so you can kind of start working on it. It's just a lot of crap.
A lot of shit in the
A
way.
lot of shit.
Or
A lot of
it-
shit. A lot of process to take it off.
Yes.
You gotta
Just to
take
get to the
just to get to the bearings.
So there's a bearing at each individual section where it hooks to the plow. So there's
As in, like, there's a big shaft and the bearing.
So there's a big rod,
so
Okay.
and it has
And then the
discs on it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
the
it's a
bearing
big-
rod, or
it's
discs.
So you really, like, had to take this just to get to that
So we
one?
took it all off, everything
have to-
off the rod, and come to find out the rod was bent too.
Oh, no.
Rod was bent. Replaced 3 bearings on it.
Can't even put it back together.
No, we had to, and we come to find out like the
See,
boss's dad, because he was running it. He said he ordered one, and we went all the way out there to get the new one. Brought it back, and
Yeah, no shit, wrong one.
oh no.
so we had to go to. I had to make a run all the way to another one further, a different dealership. It is a dealership. We had to go to another parts place and get a box of discs because there was a couple discs we had to replace too because they were bent. Or
So, like,
shit.
one place didn't have them, and then
Yeah,
the other place
yeah.
had
Was it-
this.
Was it the big crate?
This is
Huh?
so
Was it the
stupid.
crate of them?
Yeah, crate of them. We had like 5 or 6
so
discs.
fucking stupid.
So
It's
this
funny.
this
Sorry.
box itself
Sorry, man.
is like 1,500 pounds
Yeah,
plus
yeah.
of just discs.
big-
Of the disc itself.
Yeah, just discs.
It's just disc. It's like a
How
15.
big are they?
Like, well, you can get different sizes. So you start off by like
A tiny
an
guy?
8 to 10 inch to
Like a medium pizza to
yeah,
like a
to
large-
large pizza.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they're
But
huge.
they're big
a
steel
large pizza.
fucking.
They're big steel.
Dude,
So
I would
hold on,
eat a
I'm
big
gonna
steel large
I'm gonna
pizza.
stand up for a second. You guys are gonna see me walk off
pizza.
screen for a
Good for your
second. I'll show
cholesterol.
you. Like,
Oh, you got one coming
We
up?
don't have one here, but
Yeah, okay. So you guys had to run around all over fucking hell looking for parts and stuff.
Well, yeah.
this would be like this isn't the disc, but this is generally about how big they get.
So here, I'll.
You know, for being in a farmer's tool shed, you think you have that kind of stuff
you would
lying
think
around.
we'd have well, equipment's out in the field.
Yeah,
It's pretty
right.
big though. I mean,
Yeah, probably.
so something about this, but steel.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
big
so,
round
and this
steel.
would be like
And
this would be a
steel's
couple,
dense,
like, 100
right?
pounds.
Steel weighs
Yeah.
a lot.
Well, like that's like a plate for a steel, like a lifting plate. You just
Oh, yeah.
toss that, man. It doesn't matter.
But yeah, so took everything apart. He went and started working on another one because there was like one, the little one on the wing. He had to do the same thing, but it wasn't as bad.
Well, yeah, it's
he
only like a
he did it
3/4
by himself. So by the time I got back with the discs, he was done with it, and we started working on it. So started feeding it through the rods and everything. Got everything on. We were almost to the finish line. But there's like this one cone spacer that is like right next to the bearing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like low cone bearing, and then you're supposed to have like this 1-inch
That little white
washer.
one, that little white cone thing.
Yeah, well, black, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just
Black.
a metal cone. Okay, but yeah, black cone, and then the bearing, and then there's just like a little 1-inch washer spacer that you had to put on there, and then I think something else, or a little cap. But anyways, there was no 1-inch washer, and you gotta think this was after 5 o'clock too.
Oh no.
So you can't even call
Can't
up
even
the
go.
parts.
No, I mean
No.
you call somebody, but you have to get it. the
Yeah,
following
you're
day.
getting
So I
right.
need to get one of those 1-inch spacers and then a cone because it was shorter than the other one.
Oh god.
All right, well, boss ain't really happy about it, so we just went home. Showed up there following morning, waiting for the guy I was working with. He was already up there getting the parts and all that stuff. Got it. The other plow, the other ripper, one of the bolts that's against the spring broke.
Oh no.
So we had to go back to that one and work on it this morning.
Oh my god.
And we had to take that all apart, and we were trying to get an impact on it to loosen the springs
It's
up.
impossible.
It's impossible, even with a 1-inch impact.
It's impossible.
Everything we used, we couldn't get it. And he's like, you know what? Screw it. Let's just take the one off the one that broke off and just throw it on there. So we were running around just doing all that crap. And
That sounds
So-
like a shit avalanche.
You know what
Just
it
a
is?
shitty mountain
the
of
sh-
avalanche.
The shittier part. So okay, the shittier part about this, and Alex can attest to this. When you're putting those discs back up, the scrapers are already there. You mount the scrapers up, and then you have to mount the discs back into the slot, and then have some like. It is the most ridiculous thing you've ever ridiculous thing you've ever done because you have to line these fucking arms up on the discs to where
So
they
isn't
go.
it-
So
wouldn't
you
it
have to
be-
start a bolt, start a nut, but you have to get those scrapers perfectly aligned
yeah,
with these discs.
Well, wouldn't it be easier to put those discs in before, or
You can't line them up.
really?
No,
Yeah.
you
That's
can't.
that's such
And
a-
then if those discs are bent, the
Oh,
springs are busted, they don't line up right, and you have to like sit there with a huge pry bar and
how
literally
many
pry
times
it
do
as
you had to
somebody's
take
going-
them off and put them back on.
It is.
yeah, that
it
could
is
be
a
fun.
non-ending
last
process.
time I had to do it,
My
we had
back
to get a
hurts thinking about
forklift.
that.
Fuck yeah, dude.
We had to get a forklift. Somebody sitting on the forklift to just inch it slightly to left, to the right, move it forward a little bit, left, right, and then we'd finally line it up and get the bolts in, and then just send her home, and then you're done. That's a whole day project. With just one section.
It's like 2-day project for us, but
trying to get parts alone was a day project.
So we finally got that one on, and this one was a newer version too. So when you're looking at the disc, each disc has its own bracket, and I was like looking, I'm like, why can't the other one have this one?
No shit.
Yeah. So we went back to the other one and tried to finish getting it together. Got all the discs on, got everything on, bearings on, cones on.
The discs up until it's up, because the discs all are. They flop.
They like float. That's what.
So you have to mount it and then tighten it together so it sinks.
Oh my god.
But the messed up part, we got everything on. Wow, like my coworker noticed, like, wow, there's a lot more space than something's missing. There's a lot more space than
Oh
made it.
no, shit's gonna be like.
We grabbed the tape measure, measured this one, or measured the original one that's already on there. About like 71 on it.
71 inch long or some shit. Yeah,
and
a
wide.
number, a number.
Yeah. And then
69.
went to the other one, 80.
Oh
The new one, 80. And we're just like, son. And luckily the boss was in a better mood yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. The boss was in a better mood. He called him like, hey, we got a problem. It's the wrong size. And he was just, I could hear him on the phone, just laughing his ass. No, he was laughing his ass off. He's like,
He's
oh,
already
there's
dealt with
another
this
thing
for a
coming.
day.
Yeah. No shit.
And this was Saturday too. So what happens around that time for dealerships?
They're closed up.
They close around noon.
Yeah.
They close around noon.
Was
So
it like 11:50?
yeah, it was pretty close. It was 10 o'clock.
Just get Caleb in the Hemi.
He was calling him. He's like, yeah, he was like,
20 minutes.
he knows he used to work at the dealership here in where we're at in town, and he knows the guy. He's like, call him. He's like, do you have this the right length? And like, no, we don't have it in stock. Just anyone around us at the field, because we were all in Pontiac during that time working on it, and he's like, does anybody around us have it? They don't. The only one has it is like all the way up in near Joliet. I can't remember the name of that town.
You ain't gonna make it.
But no, he made it.
Oh really?
Yeah, he's like, if they close, can you
Yeah.
just tell them to leave it outside for me?
No shit. We'll
Yeah.
pay for the motherfucker.
Yeah, so he had to run up there and get it, and I went back to hauling corn. I'm like, well, tell him that crap.
Yeah, fucking crap.
If you can't get it, let me know.
That sounds
Yeah,
like a
it's-
bitch. That sounds like just trying to line shit up. Like I picture like a through hole, right? Like you picture like a tunnel and nothing. Like you can't jam the train through the tunnel, because
Yeah.
it's not lined up and
Yep,
the track
yep.
isn't laid right.
So-
So you have to straighten the tunnel and then get the train through it.
Would it be fair to say that that most farmers do a lot of their own maintenance? Obviously, if there's shit that they can't fix, they have to take it to like a dealer or whatever. But do you think that like that's a fair statement to say that like, most farmers,
most
farmers, especially around here, do a lot of their own like maintenance,
They
general
do.
maintenance.
If they have a way that they can fix it themselves, like weld this back together, or just get a new bolt from the bolt bin over there and just throw this on. Yeah. You can, but
I feel it's-
Otherwise, you have a guy coming out to fix it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I imagine it's easier for farmers that have been in it, or anybody that's been in it like longer, because you acquire things over the years, and then you end up having stores of bolts, and,
Right.
Like
Yeah,
extra.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yes and no, because how much everything's changing, everything's
Oh,
updated every
everything's
single
bigger.
year.
Everything is bigger.
Yeah.
And
So
then-
it's more like electronic driven, or
Yeah.
this one bolt is to spec. Like you cannot insert another bolt into this hole.
It's got British threads in it. That
Yeah,
means
basically, it's gotta be
they're
specific.
custom made bolts and then this will go in the right to repair because like you can't touch any new equipment now.
You can.
You're locked
actually, no.
out.
They lost.
Like,
John
yeah.
Deere lost that battle.
The right to repair stuff? Well, that's interesting. I hope, good, because that means farmers like you won't be able to fix your own shit. But
Yeah. Well, and then
is that what you were talking about? Like you, as in
Yeah,
they
well-
can still fix their shit, but
yeah,
they don't.
But the thing is, I guess they have they do it on to save money and to save cost, because farming is a cost. It's like a cost thing. Everything's overhead when you're farming. You got your land, you've got your crops, you've got your equipment, you've got everything, and it's just any turn you can save a buck, you're gonna probably try to save a buck. If you can fix your shit. And I doubt, and maybe I'm wrong by saying this, but I doubt that farmers are getting new equipment every single year. Like you're gonna have a couple years
if you got the money for it.
If you got the money, but that's what my point is. I guess is that if you're fixing your own shit and you got shit that's not breaking that you can keep using, you're gonna keep using that shit.
Right.
Unless you get a bunch more land and you need something faster and bigger.
Right.
Yeah, well, and then working on these things too, the one thing I did notice about the one working on yesterday, that bolt that broke, is like the only way to get it off is you have to take those springs off. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I was telling my coworker about it. I'm like, dude, they really are finding ways to get you parts to where you cannot fix it yourself. You have to like take it in and replace it just so that you're spending money for their sakes.
Yeah.
So
so shady.
The planned obsolescence or whatever you call it. Like,
is that I didn't hear about the right to repair thing.
Yeah.
it's been a huge battle for ever.
Is that just everything? Like
kind of,
automakers?
yeah, like because dealerships don't want you working on their shit. I mean, like I don't even know the industrial world, but I'll pull a guy in here and we're gonna talk about probably Volvo's construction equipment or Caterpillar. You ain't touching none of their shit. No. You're probably locked out of that thing. The only thing you can touch is the goddamn doorknob, to get in and out of the cab. Yes. Even the buttons lock you out.
So it's not really an answer for you. It's kind of it depends. No, it's not a theory. No. It's a half answer.
Half answer, okay.
Depending on the size of the farmer and also how Smokey said how much money you have. Farmers, new age farmers, let's go with new age farmers, don't actually buy the equipment. They lease it.
Yeah, it's a lot
yeah.
Of lease.
Well,
so,
yeah,
but
they will lease it
gotta,
for the year and then they'll trade up.
So then in those leases, is repairs included in those leases?
They just pay out of pocket.
I think it depends on the contract.
Probably. Yeah,
it depends on the contract.
You still have to fix it.
But most
is
of the time,
it within the lease agreement then that you have to get it fixed at the dealership? Do they
if it's under warranty, most of the equipment's under warranty.
Most of the time it's going to be under warranty, but you're still paying the technician to be out there.
Yeah, that's about it. You're.
They still got to get you
somehow. It's a different world.
Yeah,
well, everybody's got to find a way to make money.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I imagine, maybe I'm wrong, but. Like, is there not farmers out there that own all their own shit because they've been in it for so long? And
there is.
And they're not paying, leasing fees, and they're not stuck to those contracts or whatever. So they're probably going to fix all their own shit. I don't know about the farm that you used to work on. If he owned all his equipment or if he just leased it.
He owned some of it, and a lot of it was leased. Like it was a weird in between of owning and leasing. Like it was like having a loan.
Yeah.
But at the end of the year, he could trade. It still had most of its value. He could trade and then re-up to the next one, and then he'd
trade it in before the warranty expires.
It's like going to school forever. You just keep building on it.
My boss says, he gets rid of the equipment before the warranty expires, and
you can still pretty much get full price for what it was.
And basically trade it in for another exact equipment, just brand new.
Like we had one tractor on our farm where it was like, okay, we could only have so many hours on this because we're going to trade it.
Yep.
You can only have, well, that's like a mile agreement then for a vehicle. When you lease a vehicle, you have 10,000 miles, so
yes and
you
no.
don't go over the hour limit, the mile limit, whatever.
Yes and no, because it was a kind of a lease, but it was kind of owned, where he had already made a deal with the dealership. Like the tractor was sold to somebody else at this point. Mm. He had already made a deal with the dealership. Hey, I'm trading this in. I'm going to keep it for part of the season. You're going to get me a new one, and you're going to sell this one. And they had already sold it.
Okay, they worked the deal out.
There was a deal they made,
make a deal.
So they could only be there was a variance of of what the hours could be on.
And there's probably more of a farmer thing because I would.
Well, perfect example with my boss. Like he was supposed to get those new rippers. He was supposed to get his new one in, and he kept the original. I was like, I'm keeping this thing until you guys give me my new one.
Yeah,
because I'm not.
I'm fair.
It's fair, because
equipment.
Because you're getting rid of this one that's already sold.
Yeah.
And what do you got to use? It's not even here before the year's up, and you need something to get your fields done. Yeah. Well, I'm keeping this thing until mine comes in. Plain and simple. And
it makes sense.
The same guy we sold that one to, that plow that he kept, he had problems too. He had bolts to fix and all that. So it was funny. I seen him in the dealership too.
When you buy used equipment, you should look at your shit. But
right. Well, it's just this ground is rough.
Do you want to take a break?
Let's take a break and make sure everything's charged, and we'll come back to it.
We'll come back to you guys here in a second.
After this commercial break.
All right, hey everybody, we're back in. Took a little quick break, but getting right back into just more Smokey stuff.
It's a lot warmer now.
Yeah, it's warmer.
Extremely bright now.
Yeah, it's bright.
Any warmer, I'm going to be butt-ass naked in front of you guys. So.
I mean, it's still October, but...
Yeah, well...
Or it's almost November, but... Anyways, all right, so we talked a little bit about your job and all this stuff, and I kind of just basically want to... Yeah, it's about you, so I just what about moving forward? Do you think you're going to be doing this stuff? Like farming, repairing, fixing stuff, you think you're going to be doing this for a while?
I definitely think so because It's like in my blood. It's just one of those, like, everybody has those generation of farmers or generations of mechanics or generations of whatever.
Yeah.
So, am I going to be still at the same job? Probably not. Am I going to do the same type of job? Probably.
Let's start our own farm.
Yeah, let's do our own farm, man.
We've been talking about starting a business for a while now, but that's a different subject.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think definitely I could see myself fixing stuff for sure through the long run and definitely farming some.
For sure, farming.
sure,
You still want
yeah.
to keep farming, right?
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
Don't want to give
I think
up
if
the
anything
roots.
else, like I'd probably go back to the family farm and help out with them and all that stuff and
Yeah.
put my name in the
Would you
soil.
take over your family's farm if it ever came up, or and you think you would end up doing something like
I'm
that?
hoping I would, because growing up throughout my entire life, I was like the only one out of, like, I guess the siblings from cousins and, brother and sister and all that. I was the only one who was out there helping them.
Okay.
So
you wouldn't mind taking
I
over.
wouldn't mind taking
Yeah.
over.
You're also probably the most likely candidate. I mean, look at you. You're
Yeah.
a farmer.
Yeah, you're built
If
for
the-
it, man.
I mean, I got a beard, so that should say it all.
I have a beard, but I'm not a farmer.
You're a different type of breed. We call you guys the city beards.
Bro, I'm also rural America. Like, we lived like miles away from each other. Relax.
Live across
I just have the
cornfield.
internet, okay?
Yeah, but
Leave
you're-
me alone.
You're farther north than me, so.
Yeah. All right, man. I think you have like at least good outlook, good mindset to like still keep doing this. You're not gonna stop just fixing shit. You're not gonna just suddenly forget how to do this stuff. So.
No, until my arms or legs go out or my back where I can't do it anymore.
You'll still figure out a way
I'll
to
still
do it.
figure out how to do
You'll
it.
be bionic by that time because that's where technology
No,
is
I'll
going.
do it. I'll do what my grandpa does and just yell at the grandkids to fix it for me.
Yeah.
Go over there.
Go fix that shit. That's great.
So,
Well, I don't know, man. It's just like I think it's just a different world, especially if you're not in it. I didn't understand. Like, I could ask you, does it suck? Does it suck to do this farming? Does it suck to fix the shit out there in the field once in a while?
yeah, it depends on what broke.
Oh, yeah.
Like that chisel plow thing we were talking about earlier. Working on that was a pain in the butt. Just, it's all that stuff.
Were you guys in the field?
Yes and no. Yes, we were at a field where it was at, but we were like in a big old pasture working on the one. But the other one, yeah, we were in the field working on it.
That can fucking suck. That
Yeah.
can really you're in the muddy, shitty, you had to walk out to somewhere.
Yeah,
and,
and you got to make sure you have every tool with you too at that point. I was lucky. My coworker, he has a utility truck that has all his tools and everything he needs.
It's all right there.
Yeah, it's all right there. If you don't have everything you need, you're basically wasting more time running back to where your toolbox is at the shop and grabbing what you need and then going all the way back over there.
Yeah, then you're
So,
just wasting time and
and daylight. So.
Yeah, and it's all important, especially for you guys.
Yeah, so that's another thing too. Make sure you got the right tools with you and every tool you think you need.
Yeah, I always say bring more. You never know.
Or, yeah,
we
bring-
had a small conversation where he had a road call, and I was like, he goes, I took 2 of butt connectors or something, and I was like, don't do that, man. Fill your fucking pocket full of them. Just always cover your ass in the sense
Yeah.
of you think you're gonna need 3 wrenches. Well, just bring the whole sleeve of wrenches, right?
Right, yeah.
So
You grab 2, you're gonna need 3.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, you learn stuff like that. I mean, it's just cool to hear and see because people still want to do this. People still do fix their own shit. They still
Yep.
maintain their stuff and repair their own equipment and stuff. So it's good to hear that you're like, oh, I would never do this again. I can't wait to get out of this field. But I think that's how most of us are. We've kind of learned that it sucks. And then it doesn't suck other days, and
Yeah, but then you get that nice, sweet sensation feeling that you got it, great accomplishment that you got it fixed and running right and everything works
back
great.
back to
The
Yeah.
reward.
The reward,
Yeah.
yeah. That's always that matters about it.
The
I think
reward
we-
is more work.
I think we talked about that, the first or second episode, or probably both. Nothing's more rewarding than successfully completing a job.
Yeah.
And doing it right and just being able to reap that reward. It's like, oh, God, it feels so good.
You just got to bask in it at that moment right
But
then
then
and
your
there.
ass and your back and your fingers hurt, and you're like, fuck, for the next 3 days. But
you can enjoy
it's worth it. Yeah.
5,
Yeah,
10
it would-
seconds.
Yeah, until you have to do another dumb
Until
job.
something else
Yeah.
breaks.
Yeah, man, and that happens in so many ways. Even for me in this last little week, I fixed something on my furnace, and then something else just broke the other day. I was like, that sucks. But that first initial fix,
Seeing it running and going
seeing it
and
running,
everything,
then,
that's just a great reward.
I think this just goes back to the suck of the job.
Or
where
I guess
it gets
different subject, same concept. When we're working on the boat, the speedboat, of
Oh,
mine.
yeah, your
You
bait
know,
liner, right?
I got that thing from my coworker. He's like, "Yeah, you want a boat? Here you go, take it." And not knowing if it, he said it ran and like a little bit of things here and there, but you can never trust that. So we dove into the entire thing and took that entire motor apart and just replacing whatever needs to be replaced or cleaning whatever needs to be cleaned and putting it all back together.
We did it at a very like cheap, like not cheap, but like we're not trying to spend $1 million for that. So
No.
that was very specific for us. And,
Yeah.
like, with your boat, right? Like,
It's just that sweet sensation, yeah.
yeah, when we get it running, we got on the water. But like, we also didn't want to just dump thousands of dollars into something that might never fucking run.
Or we not even keep very long either.
Yeah, or not even right. Sometimes you just gotta weigh your options, and you're like, we're gonna try the bare minimum and see if it does anything.
Right.
And with the case of your boat, like it ended up working. It worked better than we could imagine.
Oh, for sure.
So like we just kept making progress on it,
Making
and,
more improvements to make
yeah.
it go faster than it needs to be.
yeah. And if you guys want to check any of the videos, there is links to TikTok and stuff down there. But yeah, you can check out the Buddies Bayliner series, and it's his boat, and yeah, it's been
You'll
running.
see a lot
and
of my hand and arm and my back movement. You won't see much of my face, but yeah.
a lot of motherfuckers
Well.
been edited out of it. Son of a bitch, piece of shit.
Goddamn
Goddamn,
motherfucker.
yeah, son of a bitch, piece of shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
so. But you're right. The reward, or like we've all said it, when you fix something and it doesn't,
It's just beautiful.
yeah.
Because then after you after you get that speedboat running and everything, you go on the water. You're just nice cold beverage in your fuck, a cold beer in your hand, fucking enjoying the water, and you're just enjoying the breeze on the middle of the water, and you're like, holy shit!
Yeah.
Look at what we accomplished, dude.
Yeah.
We brought a thing back to life.
Yeah.
It's just always that sweet, sweet reward.
Yeah.
It's bringing something back to life. Anybody, I mean, a lot of people have the money or the credit to buy a new one, but it's just that extra sensation of just
Doing it yourself.
doing it yourself
Yeah,
and bringing it back
definitely,
to life.
yeah.
So
Yeah, those projects, man, they really like, I don't know, they teach you a lot about it. Shit. It doesn't matter if it's just fixing some of our like, well, we got trucks or computers, but like your boat or your fucking old car.
Yeah.
Like once you kind of get it sorted and like get past the fuel leaks and the no starts and the shit doesn't power up or blue screens on you if it's a
clean the
computer.
carburetor,
Clean the carburetors
cleaning
and
the
all.
pistons,
like,
and all, or
yeah,
whatever
man,
you can for pistons, but
that's
yeah.
pretty sweet glory. And when it comes back for me in like motorsports, that's I guess why we do it. We just want to win. Like we just want, and it doesn't matter if we just cross the finish line at.
Yeah, you might not be the one behind the wheel.
Yeah,
but
right,
Just
like-
watching your work
right,
going to town,
exactly.
and just you getting that win, this is the greatest feeling.
Yeah, it's a team win. Motorsports is definitely a team effort. But in life in general, the repair world and the mechanic industry, it's like, yeah, I'll call you. I wouldn't know shit about farming if I wanted to say begin or start commercial farming. I'd call you. I'd be like, what fertilizer? What shit? You're like, stop! Don't touch anything.
You broke it already.
Yeah,
I bought the seed drill and it's not planting corn.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the wrong equipment there, bud.
Yeah, it would be a lot of that. So, yeah, very interesting, very insightful. Yeah, I really appreciate you just letting us know and coming on and talking about the farming and the.
Oh, it's my honor.
Yeah, it's all right. We're honored to have you on. Thank you, man. And
It's an honor to be part of you famous people. Seeing you on TV all the time.
Yeah.
I'm honored. Get your guys' autograph after this.
It's interesting. Like I say this, I think every episode. It's interesting to hear your perspective because we had Chewy on for was it episode 2 or episode 3?
Yeah.
And you talked about farming,
Right.
And his perspective is very different than yours. It's just like the same thing, right? But it's different.
Same genre, just
yeah.
different style.
And like you, he did different things on the farm that he worked at than you do on yours, right?
Right.
And so your experiences are going to differ, and your perspective is going to be different. But it's just it's super awesome to hear, like all the shit that you do, and just that story about the chisel. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, chisel plow.
The chisel plow.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild, dude. Like I couldn't imagine
that's-
being out in the thick of it, being like, "Fall."
That's
You
the
know,
beginning
like, trying
of
to
it.
fix
That's
yeah.
just one thing. Just
But it's good to know that like in those situations, like, all right, well, fuck, this is what we're gonna have to do.
Yeah.
That's the suck of the job.
Yep.
So, I
Or
don't know.
just running around half the county trying to look for the right part and fucking everything else.
Yeah, it's like it's always a game with stuff like that because it's very specific, right? Per model, everything's very specific.
Everything is different.
And like in my industry that I work in, as everyone knows probably is printing, like garment printing, textile printing, whatever. Like everything's specific to each machine. Like filters for like digital machines are pretty similar, but like everything is like serialized to be specific to that individual machine.
That's exactly
And
what
so
it
like
is.
you have to match it right, otherwise, shit's gonna break or it's not gonna
it
work.
doesn't even work at
Yeah.
all, right?
Or you have a longer rod than it was supposed to go on, and then you have all that gap and it won't
just
work.
cut it down.
Well, I thought about that, but like it's got threads
Yeah,
on the end
it's-
of it, so
you
you're
got-
supposed to have
right.
a nut on there and all that. It's just a
Crazy.
pain in the butt.
The
But
shit part with that one too, if you've cross-thread that,
It's
It's
oh,
ruined.
forget
It's
about
ruined.
it.
Oh yeah, it's you start over. You just got to go get
Go get a
another
new
one.
Yep.
Well, you'd hope the nut would take the damage before the rod in that case. But yeah, I mean, so it's been cool working with you, not just having you on the pod, but like, yeah, doing the boat, man. We get to use your boat, or I mean, it could be. Well, the only thing we didn't tackle actually, last thing was like you had glow plugs go on your truck, but I've been busy. You were been in harvest season,
Yeah.
So you had to get glow plugs done on the truck, but
Yeah.
those guys whipped it out. They had a diesel shop over here close to us, and they took it out in like 4 hours. It was done in like
Yeah,
under
if that, because like I took it over there the night before, because like I've been working like 6 days a week and
Yeah.
like more than 18 hours and didn't have time. Like the only day off I had was on a Sunday if I'm lucky, and I ran that night. I ran it over there, dropped it off, and you came and picked me up and took me back, and then
Yeah.
went to work. And that following morning, I think it was roughly. I don't know what time they opened, but let's just say they opened at 7, and they called me at 11 saying, "Yeah, we got your truck done." What?
Yeah, man, those
It's one of
guys-
those things you think it's
Yeah.
just like a 2-week
And
job.
that's
or
something
something.
we would take. It's not like I haven't done glow plugs on, especially bigger stuff, Cummins and Detroits and Mercedes stuff, but like maybe Volvos. I don't know if I've done them on Volvos, but the point is like, it's about time, and in a job like that is like we would do it if we probably had more time, if you weren't busy
Yeah.
working and stuff, if I wasn't on the road. But I think like the idea is like I think we're getting older, and like, or at least we probably all feel it, like you take your oil to get changed somewhere, and it's also cheaper. It makes more sense than the time you're going to put into it. So there is instances where I don't think we're going to fix everything that breaks, or we're just going to have to go get a new one.
Right.
But like yeah, your glow plugs, and I've never done them on a Duramax. So I know you haven't, right? We
No,
weren't
I
gonna like
haven't, yeah.
we were
We
gonna
were
try on a
talking
Sunday
about it,
afternoon. Yeah, we were
yeah.
like start on a Sunday afternoon at 6 and hopefully be done before, I don't know, midnight.
Yeah,
Who
right.
knows? We'd fuck that one up.
Yeah, no
like,
kidding.
yeah, and all you guys, you Duramax or GM guys, you can leave it in the comments on YouTube. Be like, it was a 5-minute fix. They're right bolted to the.
Oh, good for you. Well, you got time to do it. We don't.
right. So it probably weren't that. If it were like a Cummins, they're right on the side of the block.
Oh, I'm
Who
sure
knows?
it's probably the easiest thing on the planet,
Yeah.
but it's just mostly timing too.
Yeah, I think age, and then like I send out transmissions. I don't rebuild my own transmissions. Not to mention those are voodoo boxes. Like the way they're just built in design, it's still hard for me to grasp how they work. But like, yeah, I think as we get older, and we're gonna still work on our own shit. You're still, but like,
Yeah.
you can still do your own
To a
shit.
point,
But to a point, yeah. And then in a farm world, you're gonna probably like when we were talking about combines and all that shit, like you can't even work on it. Like you're gonna
No.
have to send it back under some warranty or lease deal or whatever.
Well,
hopefully,
with
and-
our new combine we just got, I can tell you, like, one of the things that broke on it, because all of us truckers were out hauling corn to the ethanol plant the one day, and his combine broke, and nobody could touch it. Like, he had to call them out, the John Deere guys,
Wait,
to come out and work
the brand
on
new
it.
combine.
Yeah, this brand new
okay,
X9
okay.
combine, and it was the chain into the feeder neck for
Mm.
the combine in the front. Like, I think a rock hit it or something, and they had to pull it all out and fix it themselves. Same thing. You can do certain things, but if you own it, if you lease it, or
But if now you're calling them, right? You got to
have
call
to
the
call
guy.
them
Yeah.
and fix it. But I think that's one of those jobs, like, I don't even want to deal with that hassle. That's just a pain in the ass job.
Yeah, and who knows what new fucking crazy ways they bolted or designed
Yeah.
it to keep you out of it, right?
Exactly.
Like, so, right. Where there's always some stuff you're going to be able to do or not do, and then you have to call a specialist. So,
Yep.
and in this world, I think there's just there's just guys that only know transmissions, or, there's guys that are only good with electrical diag, but they don't want to fix rattly, noisy
Yeah.
gearboxes. So
Everybody has their own specific job.
yeah, and while we could have done your glow plugs, we'll have to get it next time because, well, time is a little more important to some of us at some point than, I don't know, than money or other things. Sometimes you got to enjoy your life with the people you got around you. So it can't be out in the garage 18 hours out of the day and, expect to have your girlfriend, wife, nieces, nephews, whatever, happy at you,
Yeah.
So
Well, some people enjoy it too.
fixing shit or
Oh,
breaking
yeah.
shit? Because I like
Well, I mean, but people enjoy being out in the shop all day
Yeah.
working on stuff.
I
know.
will. I do.
mean, my boss, all he'll ever want to do is just farm. That's all he does.
That's what he likes to do.
He loves to do
Yeah.
it. That's all he does.
Well, that's what you would do if you had more opportunity. Like if
Well,
you had the options. And
Not
opportunity.
comparing to him, no, I don't think I want to do what he does.
Not that much?
Not that much. I'd like to go out camping and go fishing.
Go
and have
fishing,
A beer,
yeah.
Yeah, I think if I had a garage and like the space, I would definitely do it more. I mean, we got the space here, but for me, it's kind of
It's also
Well,
cold as shit
yeah.
now.
Well,
Cold.
that too, but how long do you think you're going to be able to have this privilege to use it? This is somebody else's tool shed.
Well,
It's just one of the things. It's
out.
nice to have your
Yeah.
own. It's nice to walk into your backyard and go into your tool shed and
Yeah.
nice
Yeah,
heated
have your
concrete.
own space.
Yeah, and just your own workplace
Garage
and all that.
with
But
a lift and whatever else you're doing and using.
yep, exactly. But it's always nice to have that one friend or one family member or something who has this stuff that they let you use it.
Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't for our buddy Chewy here,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to have this boat in here. We would not be able to work.
Yeah,
on it
we
at all
wouldn't,
winter.
right. I still got I'm lucky enough to work out of here. Me and Chewy got out a deal and it's working out. So it's just, sometimes you got to work with what you got. And I know we don't have a cemented floor or heat in here for winter, but
It's a roof over our
it's a
head.
roof. Yeah, it's going to keep the snow off my equipment or off my shit. And
Yep.
it's going to get us out of the sun, when it's boiling out in
Like
summer.
now, where we're
Yeah,
on fire
like
and lost the shirt.
For all of our viewers, hopefully we're not completely blown out on the ISO and the color spectrum, but yeah.
I'm still good looking either way.
Yeah, right. Don't worry, it's actually just blurring out all the good bits.
Oh yeah, it's just a filter.
It's
It's,
just
just gonna
a-
cover up everything else.
But yeah, places like people and no, it's just different worlds, and I guess I just didn't know much about the farming stuff, so
yeah, it's definitely interesting.
yeah.
There's still a lot more to know too. That's the crazy part.
Oh, I
Like,
bet we
yeah.
could have you, dude. We'll probably bring you back on. We're gonna talk about more shit.
Oh
more
yeah,
stuff
if
that
I
goes on.
find out more stuff too, I'll let you know. You'll be the
Yeah.
first to know.
Oh, you're
but-
gonna be fixing. We jinxed you. You're gonna be fixing more shit here in the next 2 days because it broke. You're like, I had to talk about it. Now it's all broke.
Oh, that means I'm probably gonna be getting a Ford in the future or something. Then,
Hey
huh?
man,
Hey man.
hey man, both my cars are
Fords.
Fords.
Yeah,
Hey, dude,
well-
my Ford's broken right now. It needs it needs blend doors for the heater. It needs a clutch soon. I gotta do the timing belt because that's not.
My Chevy's perfect. Nothing was wrong with it at all.
Oh, yeah, the glow plugs.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's not there anymore.
Not there anymore. Yeah, they're fixed.
They're fixed. They fixed on its own.
They're fucking good to go now.
So you guys want to segue?
Yeah, unless you guys do you have any more questions for Smoke until we bring him on next time? But
Oh yeah.
good.
Yeah, pretty good. I mean,
All right. Well,
yeah.
if not, then I guess let's just take it away. Yeah, dude, go ahead, take it away into worth it or junk it.
Worth it or
Worth it, junk it, baby.
Smokey was so pumped for that intro. The entire episode, he was just sitting there like,
I think every time I watch you guys' videos and you started doing it, I'm like, oh, I get to do it with you guys next.
So yeah, so worth it or junk it. Today we've got what, 2 topics?
2 topics.
We're gonna start probably with Mario. So why don't we get into that?
You want me to go with
Yeah,
it?
go on it.
Because it's my fucking,
It's
it's my
your
bit.
thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
guess
think that's pretty funny because this is just
I
a
think
thing that just
contextually-
happened today.
Well,
you know?
contextually, it would make more sense if you introduced it.
yeah. Okay.
It
Let me-
would.
I'm talking about worth it or junk it mornings, as in.
Get rid of mornings. Cut it out.
Yeah, let's just not have one today,
I'm
you know,
not
forget
a
about
morning
it.
person. I guess it's more so.
Don't wake up. Be a man.
Yeah. This is worth it or junk it on the morning guys or versus like an afternoon guys. So
Or even the night shift too.
yeah, I'm not a morning guy in general. So this is just me being like, I would rather always the day be later in every aspect, as get to the shop later, right before
So
lunch.
you're basically saying, okay,
I'm like a
1
second
o'clock,
shifter
you're like
guy.
A 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm like a
Hottest-
second
the
shifter
hottest
guy.
time of the day in the summer.
Yeah, right.
You better have air
When it
conditioning
goes
in the
into,
shed.
like, when it goes into the nighttime and it's all shady and like, I prefer a sunset over a sunrise. So my bit is, are mornings worth it or junk it? And especially in the maintenance and repair world. Sometimes you got your situation where you're like an on the road guy. I bet you would prefer a morning to fix an on road side of the road call than at night, because it's probably safer, right? Being in the middle of the day.
I don't know.
I mean,
Hazard cones only do so much. I guess.
Less people
Yeah,
out
but
at
less
night,
traffic,
those people
too.
don't pay attention either.
yeah,
so
it's
it doesn't really
a
matter.
toss-up, I guess.
Yeah, right. We could talk about construction guys. You think the construction guys in the morning have an easier job, or the guys at night? And we're talking about like road construction. I don't know who's building a house in the middle of the night, but like road construction guys, I bet there's pluses and minuses to both, right?
Right.
Like there's crazy amount of traffic in the morning, but at night you're like doing lane changes and you have to be quick. So there's probably a whole world there, and like it could be a plant operator that has to make sure something doesn't overflow or boil over. And the guy at night's probably just making sure a gauge doesn't do anything compared to the guy in the morning who's like running around putting his hair on fire. So like I am just not, I'm like a junk morning guy. I would always rather work late, have an open parts counter late, have the job run late than always get there early. Because you always get there early, it's hurry up and wait. It's
Yeah.
always like you're going to rush to get there, and then, the cement truck's not here. Our parts didn't arrive yet. Something else is going wrong, because it just always feels that way for me. And that's totally separate from my world of motorsports, because I'm at the racetrack at 4 in the morning. But that's so separate. That is so different from just the general repair maintenance world. Like, as an HVAC guy or something, like my furnace just broke, I'd rather get to my customer's house at 11, noon, kind of, rather than right in the morning. So, but I'm also a lazy son of a bitch. I don't know.
What do you think, Caleb, for being a road guy and working for a semi-truck shop? Like, does that benefit you, or is it worse?
that's kind of hard to answer.
It's a loaded question there, Smoke.
It's very hard
I
to
want
answer.
to be a part of this. Sorry.
Well, no, it's a good question. I give you that. It's very hard to tell and to give, like, one or the other, because you can't control what's going to happen, what's going to break, and when it's going to break.
No.
And especially with, like, over-the-road drivers and shit like that, you never know when their brake's going to start, when they're going to, stop for the night or the day or whatever the hell it is. And it's just, there are times, like the shift I just worked this morning was midnight to 8. Yesterday, I didn't have a lick of shit to do. I sat around pretty much all day doing nothing, sitting on my thumb. Like, it really, I'd had nothing. Today, I had some shit going on, but it was a little bit different story.
It's usually a hit or miss when it comes to the trucking world. I know that much.
So, for our shop, we generally get an influx of stuff anywhere from like 6 to 8. That's when shit starts coming in.
Like
AM
at
or
night?
PM?
In the morning.
Oh, in the morning.
That's when shit, and also a lot of people don't realize we're a 24 shop, 24-hour shop. So some people don't really get that, so they'll wait until like 8 o'clock, because they're like, oh, they should be open now. What? We've been open the whole time.
Or they probably just don't want to deal with the shit then and there, and they just want to sleep it off and worry about it in the morning.
Also, people wait until that time because now all of the parts stores are open, and now you can get
After
parts.
the end of the day, yeah.
Now, going later into the day, around noon, like you were saying, that's not a bad time at all. That's generally where a lot of stuff is going to happen. The later evening, past 8 o'clock, you'll have stuff come in, but you're not going to have the influx of stuff like in the morning. Do I like the night shift? Yeah, absolutely. I like what I work. I like it better, except for in the summertime when it's like 102 out and it's just a big metal shop.
Yeah, now you're in an oven.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Because it's the hottest part of the
Even
day.
warehouses suck too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would rather do my shift. I hate getting up in the morning. It is the shittiest part. I don't know why. My body just likes the night.
Yeah, right. I think that's also part of my deal.
Yeah.
I think that's part of my deal too. Partially because I always get shit on every time for work.
Right.
Like,
Well, you're like in crazy busy season, so you get up at night and then leave and get home back at night,
well,
right? You
even
get-
so, like you know, if I'm hauling grain to the elevator, you know, my boss and you know wants me there like
Wants to be the first in line.
yeah, half an hour before the gates open to let you in the dump. You know, it's like I'll get there when I get up. You just be happy I'm actually waking up and you know getting moving.
Yeah.
But it's just there's times like I had to wake up at like 2 o'clock in the morning and be at the elevator in Bedford Park at 4. You know, because their hours are completely different from like elevators down here. So it's just one of those things.
It really for me, it really depends on the job and what's going on. Like tires are you're gonna have more so tires explode, break down, do whatever when it's hotter.
Right.
So generally in the evening, like noon past to like just before the sun goes down, you're gonna have a lot more like tire repair, tire blowouts, tire like replaces because the road's hot. It's the hottest part of the day. The road's hotter
and all that
yeah,
stuff too.
You're gonna have more of that. But now that it's getting cooler out, you're not gonna have as much. But I like that a little more because now you're gonna. I mean, I don't generally care for tires, but it's a job and you're gonna get paid. So whatever.
Yeah, money's money.
Right. It's different because you can never tell what's gonna happen. You know, companies like say just random fucking AB trucking or whatever the fuck is like, oh well, our doors open at 8 and we leave at 4, so this is our time of business for the people who can schedule this to come in. After that, you're fucked. They don't get to come in. Yeah. So let's say it's kind of it's hard to answer.
Yeah.
Because you don't know.
Well, the world is just built around mornings. That's the truth.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's almost like to be honest, like the generations like 90s moving forward. It's like we're all like 90s kids. Like we would all rather just do it later. Well, yeah. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Do you like?
I don't. So I don't like mornings, but I appreciate them because then I'm done with everything at a reasonable time, and I have the rest of the day to fuck off and do nothing. You know?
I guess it's
because here's the other side of it. So, not to shit on what you guys do because you like Mario, you work for yourself mostly, and so like you can set your own hours and you can do stuff like that,
right?
And that's fine. Like for personal projects, I prefer whenever the fuck I feel like it. But like for my job, I do like, as much as I hate mornings, I do like working earlier in the day because let's face it, like the time that I'm not working, I'm gonna fuck off anyways. I would rather fuck off and go to sleep than fuck off and then have to go to work. You know? Mm-hmm. Because I don't know, man. I like the being done earlier to mess around later than messing around working and then, you know, oh fuck, I'm so tired, I gotta go to bed now.
Yeah.
I guess it's just different strokes, different folks.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like you don't have to. It's not every person is gonna want and like the same things. They're not gonna have the same preferences. Yeah. So like, there are probably some days that you would rather get shit done earlier. You're like, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do today, and that way you have time to go out and hang out with your friends later in the day,
relax,
or watch the race that you want to watch. You know, because that's. You know, it's not. I don't know what time those come on, but you know.
Well, I mean, for perfect example for me, you know, it's like for farming and all that stuff during harvest time. You know, I wake up and be at the work at like be there. I mean, the hours start at 7 is usually what they told me to, but I usually get there at 6 or 6:30 and get the truck going all. But anyways, depending on the day, I'm always working until it's like dark to dark.
Yeah.
You know, that's basically I start when it's dark and I quit when it's dark. I get home when it's dark. You know, I start at 6 a.m. and I don't get off of work until 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. You know, and like the amount of gap you have, you barely have enough time to even eat something too when you get home, or even recuperate for a minute. You just like I usually work all day, and then sometimes I won't even eat. I'll just go straight to bed because I'm just tired.
So tired.
And then you got like whatever amount of hours sleep you got, and then start all over again.
You know what's funny on your end, Smoke? It's you possibly like, all right, get here at 5. We're getting in the field, and then you wait until 8 or 9 because, well, guess what? The crops are too wet because the morning dew is made it too wet. You literally have to wait anyway.
Harvest.
Well, that and like something's broken on, and like, all right, we got a couple minutes for it, and so you take your time.
I always hated that. Like, oh, we're gonna do beans today. Get here at 5, and you don't start combining beans until like 8:30, 9 o'clock because the beans are still wet. And it's like,
Yep.
why did you have us come in so early?
And I think this just goes back to me in the hurry up and wait. Like,
Yeah.
I don't fucking like to do this. What do we, nothing's going to, like, for some reason, even if we're there at 6 or 5 or 4, doesn't matter. Like, nothing's going to get done
Exactly.
until, like, some reason it just, even in the repair world, I know it's happened to me where I was expecting the part order to be there by 8:30 because, AutoZone delivers parts at 8. So my part will be at the dealership at 8:30 for the Kia that I had to sit overnight or something. This is a very specific story because it happened, but like, parts didn't show up till the next day. That bay's tied up. We're pushing in a car in and out of the, like, that's why, like, mornings just, everybody's always a little slower, sluggish. There's traffic. It doesn't even matter if you're out here. We're in the middle of fucking nowhere, but we're gonna experience traffic. Like,
Oh,
even
yeah.
in the goofiest way, you're like, I just want to get my McDonald's from coffee.
I just wanna
Or, like,
get
McDonald's
going, man.
coffee,
Yeah.
and then there's a line of 8 people.
Wanting the same thing, dude.
Yeah, I'm a junket for mornings. I'm sorry. Racing is different, and I love what I do with that. I will not change that for anything. But also, we get to the racetrack sometimes too early to just stand around. It's always hurry up and wait, and we don't go on track till 1 in the afternoon. We're like, what are we fucking doing? I get it. But, like, junk it. I'm not a morning guy. And this is about a shift thing in general. I guess I'm just a morning avoider. Like, if I can.
You try to avoid the morning as much
Yeah.
as you can.
To answer your question you had asked, well, one of the questions you had asked, Smokey, like, do I like over the road, like on the road, like at night better? It depends on what time of night. Do I like having to carry a flashlight? Like, I mean, I have 2 flashlights, or a couple. I have my actual, like, big flashlight, and then I have one that's supposed to go around your neck. I just carry it on my head because it's easier. But do I like having to, that's my only source of light? No, but when I'm on the side of the road, and say I'm on the interstate, there's a lot less people on the interstate in the evening than there is in the afternoon, like morning to like noon area, because everybody's either at home or
At work already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like that a little better. Yeah, you, as Botar said, you have a lot more crazies out at night.
Oh, for sure.
But like I had a job where I can't remember what time. I went out earlier in the afternoon and was out there, and the interstate was just packed of people. And then it got later, and then there was just less and less and less cars. And it was just, you know what, I'd rather do this because it was a lot nicer, you know.
Yeah, the traffic dies down.
Yeah.
There's just, there's always a rush, and then it's just because the morning's so based around this. The world is based around the morning schedule. It's like, dude, not everybody can make it to the dentist from 8 to noon or whatever their schedule is, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's why I like a later thing. Like, parts stores, when something breaks, it's always critical and at the end of the day, right? It's like end of the day if we're talking about the typical thing. But, like, at 8 o'clock, you're not going to find a parts store open for another hour. Well, maybe. But, it'd be nice if they just the world is just not run like that.
Well,
It's
then,
just
like,
the world
nobody's
is
even
not-
open on weekends anymore.
Yeah,
either.
nobody's
Like-
open on
like,
weekends.
Was it just recently the DMV, like, it
Oh,
used to
and-
be open on, like, Tuesday to Saturday, a certain time on Saturdays, but, like,
Are they closed on Saturdays now?
Yeah,
they're
it's
closed
Monday
on
through
Saturday,
Friday now.
Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep, that's
'Cause it
why
used to be open till noon on Saturdays.
I had, during this time of harvesting, I had to, like, leave work. I had to call off of work just to go get my license renewed.
That's
because of the
crazy.
stuff,
I
'cause,
thought you
like-
could make appointments for the
Yeah.
weekends still.
No.
Nope.
Because everything, like most everything now at our Secretary of State's office is appointment only.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
can't
some
walk
of
in
them, some of
anymore.
them
They
will
never
do that
changed from
too.
COVID. They
Yeah,
never
I know.
changed from.
Well, some do, some don't. Some of them you just
So-
walk in and just grab a number and be like,
But
hey.
still, they took weekends away now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now you have to figure out in the middle of your work
That's
schedule.
messed a lot
Exactly.
of people up. Yeah.
You know, if you got people who work the morning, noon, 6 a.m. to fucking 5 p.m. or
so if
whatever.
the morning doesn't exist on the weekends, like
No.
we can't really count that.
No.
I just wish yeah.
Oh, I'm just saying in general, it's just.
Sorry, everybody. We had a little quick camera mishap. Thank you for still tuning in. But let's just get back into Worth It or Junk It on the morning deal. What do you guys think? Obviously, I already said my bit. Not a morning guy. Do it for some stuff because, well, obviously the world is based around mornings. But I'm junk mornings. I'm not a morning guy.
Wonk it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say wonk it. I think we're gonna coin that. We're coining it. I'm coining it right now. Wonk it. I think it's worth it for like most things, junk it for like leisure days because fuck, who wants to do that, you know?
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm kind
whatever.
of a 50-50.
Wonk it.
Yeah, I
Smoke?
mean, I think probably it's worth it to a point. I mean, it is a wonk too, but like I think it's worth it because you know you got all the daylight to do all the stuff where you got to fix stuff on the road, and you have all the daylight to see what you're doing, or you got to go to the stores and like get stuff and all that stuff when they're open and all that stuff. So
And all that stuff.
and all that stuff.
All that stuff.
Just the stuff. Oh, I don't get it, but it's worth it.
All right.
You get a lot of stuff done.
So we got one worth it, one junk it, and two wonks it.
Yeah. This is the most divided
Yeah.
of the panel here on
Yeah.
Technically Broken's ever been.
So I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna jump into our last and second and final worth it or junk it
Other
topic
stuff.
today.
The last
Yeah.
of our stuff.
EV infrastructure. It's kind of weird to kind of just segue from warnings into something so weird and different like EV infrastructure.
Well,
but-
that's what the bit's for, man. We're
but
worth
like,
it or junk it.
I
on-
just my whole perspective is that you know the world is moving in that direction of you know electric vehicles, but the problem is that the vehicles themselves are outpacing infrastructure, and especially out in rural areas like where we live, for example. There are very few options to charge electric vehicles, especially outside of your home. You know, some small towns can't handle the load, or
nice.
or they don't have like a filling station or anything nearby that you know can accommodate that.
Charging station.
Right.
I'm air quoting.
Well,
Charging.
because most of them now are being added onto filling stations to accommodate charging stations. But I did some like back research. Nah, it's not really research. I Googled some shit about you know EV infrastructure, and you know they charge you like $20, like a dollar a minute almost for charging your electric vehicle. Now, viewers, tell me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't even charge your vehicle up like fully, and it takes like 20 to 25 minutes per charge, and it doesn't even like fill you up, quote unquote.
I guess I'm kind of ignorant. I'm an idiot
So-
when it comes to this EV.
But you have these companies, these automakers pushing electric vehicles because the government is pushing it on them, and so that's the line they're taking is like, you know, blah blah, electric vehicles, it's cool.
Yeah.
But like, there's nowhere to like charge them, bro.
Yeah,
And
not yet,
so
right.
Motor Trend or Car and Driver did a study a couple years ago on taking when the Mustang Mach-E came out. They did a road trip from, I think it was from New York City to Boston, and they had to go out of their way like an hour to be able to match where charging stations were to make the trip.
to make it actually work.
Yeah.
So, and then real quick, so this whole bit is we're not talking about the EV cars. We're not
No.
talking about Teslas or.
No.
We're talking about just the infrastructure
Yeah.
that charges these vehicles.
Yeah, like
Yeah, and like where or is it
it's
worth
just-
it or is
the
it
problem
like is
I
it
think
building?
I think
correct?
it's junk right now. I think it's worth it because they need to like do
Figure it out.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
Because
it's not as
right now.
good,
It's in a
yeah.
junked position. I don't know if it's really a worth it or
I
junk
thi-
it, but
I think it's in
that-
a better position than what it ever has been.
Yeah.
Because even the small town close to us now has an electric charger, in the
yeah,
gas
but that's
station.
like within the last 5 years.
That's
you know?
within, well,
Then
it's
it's
probably
like
within
right
the
by a
last
highway,
year.
too,
It's right
so-
within the
That's,
last
I was being
year.
generous by saying 5
Yeah.
years, but even within the last year,
Yeah.
they're like the town where I'm from. They don't have an EV station.
Like I guess it comes to like when you're in a small town and you'll read all these articles and stuff like you said like we couldn't find a charger so now we had to call a guy or like
Yeah.
like they can't so the infrastructure isn't there and I don't know much about it but it's not there everywhere for all like for the justified use of all these vehicles.
Yo,
Like what
study
are
now-
you giggling about? What's so funny?
Yeah, no. The funny part is, they're gonna call a guy, and he's gonna roll out and start his big ass diesel generator to charge your
To
fucking
charge
electric.
Being pulled by a gas-powered vehicle.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I hate EV. Like I'm gonna be a combustible man until I die because
Well,
EV is
so
garbage.
I like both. I like hybrids.
to kind of split off from that, not too much, but they are Chrysler, Dodge just made that new Challenger. This is the new Charger that has the square body or whatever, and they're really pushing the electric models. but to appease the die-hard combustion engine fans, they have like
A gas one?
a gas-powered one.
What is it? Oh,
It's a-
I did
it's a
hear about
six-cylinder.
it. They brought back the 6-pack.
Yeah.
What an embarrassment of a
Yeah.
name. I can't believe these fucking engineers. I am
Terrible.
like, I'm not an old guy, but that's a sin to call. I don't know.
No V8 option for the new Charger.
Yeah, and it's like they take the 6-pack name from the old school carburetors that were.
Yeah.
It's just like don't rehash, don't zombify stuff. Make up something new. Like I guess I'm on a tangent
Yeah.
of just about that car, but like that
We
I
can
don't
talk
like
about that. We can talk about that one in the next
Yeah,
episode.
one of the next
But to
episodes.
bring it back in electric vehicle infrastructure, I think that the concept is worth it. I think that they need to get on it because the study now is that in the United States, there are 21 to 28 vehicles per charger, and it should be a 1-to-1 ratio.
I don't know about that because look at gas pumps. Well, gas is different though.
But gas is different. Though.
Gas is different.
Gas doesn't take 25 minutes to charge your car.
For the EV infrastructure, for the charging in all the stations, do we even make enough and produce enough power to? I don't think so, right?
I
That's
think
always
that-
been a big thing.
I think
If
that-
everybody got rid of their gas vehicles tomorrow and we all had to plug into the outlet, the system would no way all the power lines would work. It would crash.
I don't know.
I don't think I
didn't.
don't
I haven't
know
done
either.
enough research on it, but
Right.
from
I've
what
seen
I've
one
seen,
study.
from what I've seen, says that in our current state, the United States would be fine, but like other countries like South Africa, because of their weird electric laws, they'd be fucked. And a lot of like other countries with smaller infrastructure, they'd be screwed too because it would overload their system.
That's what I believe. Yeah.
I think it depends on location, because
Yeah.
I know and I've probably touched on this in another episode. Chicago, our big city, tried to. This guy, as a test, was going to replace his whole fleet of semis. Big company, like 20 to 100 semis with electric semis. He said 3 semis, I think it was less than 10, took more power than one of the biggest parts of Chicago.
Yeah,
Just those 3 semis
to charge.
to charge.
Yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't seem efficient at all. That
that's
doesn't
because
seem.
the infrastructure is trash, which is my point.
Right.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think-
those things take more power than cars too.
But even with
Yeah, I'm guessing so.
But
right?
even
It's a
with-
semi or something?
Yeah,
even
yeah.
with
Hauling
the
heavier stuff,
even
need
with the
more power.
infrastructure the way it is now, with there being 21 to 28 vehicles per charger, it's not enough to accommodate, and even the grids aren't strong enough to accommodate the full load.
As if.
But I think that in order for it to be fully worth it, I think that right now it's in a junk state, so it's trash.
Well, we just had another technically broken moment.
Yeah, we're technically broken.
Yeah, it's
we're
just
shit's broken.
our infrastructure's junk.
That's all right. We'll cover it up with
To bring it back in and reel it on in and bring it home. EV infrastructure as it stands is junk, and I junk it, fix it or junk it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's my stance. Is I'm on the J end of that. So I think that like in theory the idea is worth it. Like on the whole, just let's just be clear on that. But in
Feels
its
good.
current state, it's fucking trash.
On the whole.
So yeah.
I think it needs time. It will take time to develop more. So, like, I mean, even going back 10 years to now, I mean, it's crazy to see the progress. So people can literally charge their cars now, cross country, hopefully. I'm air quoting there because you couldn't 5-10 years ago.
But can you?
Right. Are you going to go out of your way?
Are you gonna
driving
find out?
right?
You gonna trust it?
We've all seen the
No.
memes of the guy driving the Tesla with a generator tied, strapped to the back of the car.
Defeats the purpose.
Yeah, what are we doing here, people? So I totally understand why you're like junk. I think it's worth it, headed in the right direction, but I don't know enough to. I guess I shouldn't even answer because I wouldn't know if it's junk, but I think it is junk. 'cause,
Okay, about what you've seen so far. Let's just go off of that.
I'm gonna go still. I'm gonna lean more towards worth it because they have been making improvements and stuff. Getting into the power demands and everything else, because we got into that a little bit off screen, off
Yeah.
camera, off mic. That it's just the current. Even our power grid, our infrastructure couldn't handle it. Yeah, couldn't sustain it. Like we saw what happened when the small freeze hit Texas 2 years ago. Like shit just broke. Like. There's no way you plug in a million electric cars tomorrow or trucks or whatever. It's
Just imagine the electric bill if you have one of those charging stations at your house.
Well, I guess it's not that bad. Like, I have friends and people, and I know people that have Teslas, and they love it, right? Like, they charge it once a week or whatever, and, they're not complaining. So,
Sorry.
you guys getting your own infrastructure there. I
Want
see
to adjust my
that.
balls while you're out, too?
I saw something. I saw a spider.
Well, I mean, as long as his.
What about you,
infrastructure-
Caleb? What's your take?
I don't know enough about. I'm an ignorant asshole with it. I don't like EV.
Yeah.
I really don't. I'm just ignorant.
Well,
that-
everyone has their preference.
Yeah.
The fact that we have no power sustainable for that. We've already we want to get rid of, obviously coal was shit anyway, but get rid of coal, get rid of other fossil fuels, and now we want to get rid of nuclear power because it's dangerous. And you can't really do anything with the waste. I understand that aspect. You're just burying it in a mountain somewhere, and guess what? The mountain's fucked for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's the future's problem, not our problem, right?
And there's nothing that we have yet, or maybe we do. I mean, the government does random things that we never know about, but there's no power source out there that is reliable enough to keep that moving.
That's actually false. It's kryptonium and also unobtainium. And also, what's the one from the other place?
Adamantium.
Well, that's not a
Adamantium.
power source. That's
Stellanium? No, Stalin. That's Stalin.
Vibranium.
Sorry.
Vibranium,
yeah,
that's
right.
it.
Stellanium with Stalin metal.
I guess also I didn't really, not to throw this wrench into the gears, but infrastructure also includes like repair shops that have the know-how to repair electric vehicles and shit like that,
Right.
because you got more moving parts, you got more broken shit. You've got 4 motors in a Tesla.
Yeah, and multiple battery cell
Yeah.
connections, and it's a lot of computer know-how, right? All that stuff is talking to itself, talking to each other repetitively.
You got
and-
IT guys diagnosing car issues
yeah,
now.
Right.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had a weird twitch, guys. My bad. Don't worry about me. I'm just
Had to fly out of the chair.
yeah,
Yeah.
just
Broken
just being
leg.
wonky.
But even still, I still stand by my junket.
Do you wanna get
The
on
the current state.
Yeah,
I think it's headed in a worth it direction.
I think it's headed in a
but
worth
I'm
it
an
direction.
idiot.
I guess
wouldn't know.
because I'm basing this more on the car itself than more so the infrastructure. It doesn't seem worth it to me. Like, I guess it does, but at the same time, at this point in time, no. It
But
doesn't.
your opinion is that we need to find a better fuel source.
Yeah, that for the infrastructure, yes. But it's like I don't get it. It's like we need to be clean. We need to use electric energy. Okay, everything we do to make that
Pretty
is
inefficient.
yeah,
awful.
Like windmills are
You
kind of
lithium
inefficient.
batteries,
Yeah,
awful.
no,
Yeah.
yeah.
Lithium mining is
whatever.
disgusting.
Yeah, right. Lithium ion, whatever the stuff to make solar panels. I guess it's hard to get out of the ground, and it's pretty.
You have
dangerous.
to bury the solar. You
right.
can't do anything with the solar
Yeah,
panel.
it's like dangerous. So and it's kind of inefficient. Take up a lot of space and land. But like, I don't know. I guess if the land's not doing nothing else, if it's not forest land, if it's just a big plain field with
Right.
grass, prairie grass, I guess.
What about you, Smokey? What do you
yeah,
think?
do you have a take on it?
I'm just an asshole in general about it, but I think it's just not worth it. It's junk it, because there's a lot more other than just, even without sustainable power source to charge it, it doesn't even last you too long on the road. Like how you were saying earlier, like someone was driving from one part from like New York to somewhere else, and they had to like go hours out of the way just to charge it.
Yeah.
But like, even so, like, semi trucks are trying to rely on this stuff kind of now. Heck, I even seen a couple of them being pulled by containers. They were pulling containers. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
They're
and
like
just container haulers now, and like,
Yeah.
they're just, going back and forth, because like I know, like, you go all the way to the ethanol plant, then you got to go all the way up to the, the docks and
like
all
super
that.
short haul.
Yeah.
Like super
That
short
might
haul.
work out, but like over long hauls, from like, you need to get it from a warehouse into like to a store across the county, it ain't gonna last you that long. You're gonna be very delayed with your load.
Well, the average electric vehicle range per charge is like 250 miles. It's very low.
it's like 300.
Yeah,
well,
so,
I
like,
mean, a tank
It's
of gas
it's sub 200 or sub 300.
Yeah,
for
a tank
most.
of gas, not a
That's
tank of
okay.
diesel.
I mean-
well, we're talking like full to full, like a full electric charge or like
Yeah.
a full gas.
Full charge is under 300
tank of
miles.
yeah, so you'd probably
Yeah.
be
I
lucky to
think
get out of the state if that. with
As a
rig.
whole, the whole EV situation is kind of flawed as we don't have the technology for it.
I think we have the technology for it. I think that
Suppress
that it's
conspiracy. Conspiracy theories.
I think it's a cost versus like demand thing because out here in the rural areas, like I mentioned earlier, you don't have as much demand, I guess, for it because you've just got your one guy who watches fucking Elon Musk on YouTube now, and he's like, I want a Tesla because the whole, but that's a whole different thing.
Right.
The perspective.
I
of
think the
Tesla
only
and-
reason I get a
and
Tesla,
the outward look.
the only reason I get a Tesla is to change the horn out of the fart noises. Get out of my way!
Can't stand you. I can't stand you.
Yeah, I know. I have my moments. That's the only reason.
But yeah, okay. So to come back in, we've got Caleb with a junket, Mario with a abstain, basically, and
Wonk it, I
Smokey
guess.
with
Would you
a
say wonk it?
with
Yeah,
a-
I'm not. I shouldn't even say, but
and
yeah, I'm
Smokey with a
wonky.
junket.
Wonky.
But I also want to clarify that my junket isn't like on the concept. It's just on the fact that I think we're moving in a very molasses lined pace.
I would go more to worth it if the entire process was. It's not. I'm not looking for street line. Like, if it wasn't so contradictory for the entire process, you know.
Yeah.
If
The
if-
batteries are better, but they're mined somewhere around the
Yeah.
world you don't see, and it
Right.
kills everybody around
Kills
the
people in
area.
Africa.
right, if we
We
if,
just don't see it. It's good for us.
if
right.
we had if
but
you
we're
wanted
greedy
true
Americans,
clean
so-
energy,
American.
true clean, like if we had an energy source to power that was clean, okay, that makes sense. I'd be 100% worth it. If everything put into the car was, you know, good for the
There's a
environment,
dark
every
side to everything good.
right. Obviously, this is perfect world scenario. You know, it's never going to happen. Well, it could eventually happen if we could move to like something that like everything in itself was green, and every step of the process to the car, to the making the car, making the power, and everything. I say that would be worth it. But until we can hit that point, I think it's more of a junket until we hit that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, everything's gonna have a growing pain.
Right,
Everything's yeah. So
I mean, they said we were going to have flying cars by 2020. So, I mean, where the hell's my flying car at?
We said that by
God.
2015 before that. The world was supposed to end in 2012. Where
get
are
on
we?
this shit, Bezos. We need
All
our
right, guys.
flying cars.
Just
I
imagine,
mean, they
just,
thought the world was going to end
just
in
imagine
2000.
electric
so.
farm equipment.
I was about to say, yeah. You think you I bet you we're gonna see that. In our
Well, I
lifetime.
mean, we're already seeing drones spraying fields and all that stuff.
so it's like already here.
it's
Automated
coming.
crop dusters.
Yeah,
They're coming in from China.
I'm an automatic crop duster in a minute.
All right, guys. Let's wrap this one up, boys.
Yeah, you guys about ready to head on out of
man.
here?
Let's get out of here.
Right on.
Wrap it up like a used condom.
Who does that? Who uses those?
Make it a good year. Make it a good year.
Make it a good year. Right on. Okay. Well, I'll head us on out of here. Thank you, Smokey, for coming on, dude. It's been
Thanks for
exciting.
coming.
Yeah,
I'm coming every day.
I'm coming. Are you guys coming?
I'm
We're
coming.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for coming on and talking about and sharing your experience and other stories with the boat and whatever else, like the farm
Old
world.
history story too. And
Yeah, your
Girl.
the background and the history of how we got here. Yeah, there's just so much every time, like especially with the farming and you guys, and I talk to you guys and I'm like, what the hell and how the hell and
there's-
who the hell and like
yeah, what the hell?
Yeah.
There's a lot more to come.
So yeah, man, really appreciate it. And I think with that, like guys, I am Mario. I'm Whole Baked Cookie. I have links. Everything will be down here. Check it out down there. And with that, I'm gonna I'm gonna hand it over to my co-host Botar.
You guys and Butcher. I'm not gonna say them. I'm just gonna have them linked in the description or whatever. So just hit me up, Instagram, whatever. I'll see you guys on the internet. I'm checking the metrics, so I know who is Oda handy. Just so you know. All right, pass it on to Big C.
Big C. I like that. Ooh. Is that for big cunt?
Yeah, the biggest.
Damn.
It's a K. It's a K.
It's a K. K. Caleb the Hunted, guys. Mario's going to put the links down. I won't dwell too much on it. We can't believe we've made it this far, 7 episodes.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah, we're still alive.
Yeah.
Keep it training. Thanks
keep
for
it
watching.
trucking.
Yeah, he's one of our Thanks, Smoke, for listening. and
I'm your
stuff.
biggest fan.
Yeah,
He's
man.
getting a handy.
I'm getting
Yeah,
handy.
he's getting one.
He's going to
all
have
three of you.
the most calloused hands after all of these handies, dude. It's going to be great.
It's gonna be great. No, go ahead.
Yeah, and bring it on to our special guest, our really good friend, and somebody who's made this really possible. Really have made this possible. One of our viewers, one of the people that's helped bring content to the
The
channel.
buddy
and
from the Buddy Bayliner series.
yeah,
The one and the only.
Buddy.
Mr. Smokey.
Smokey.
Smokey. Yeah. I'm Alex Smokey. There is no link to go below for me. Because you guys will
Don't
never-
find him.
Don't find me.
Leave him alone.
I haven't created anything like that yet. I don't know. I was talking about maybe starting a YouTube channel or something. So
In the works.
in the works, we'll just see.
Big Smoky Fishing.
Big smoke. Epic fishing.
Epic Fishing.
Smoky bassing.
Big
whatever.
smokes.
Big bass. I cannot lie. But yeah, we'll see. But thank you guys for having me on here. It's been a privilege. It's always something different to try out. And glad I actually had time to do this.
Yeah, man. Thanks for making the time.
Yeah, no problem. So,
All right, we'll catch you guys fucking next time.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
Tech broke.
tech broke tech.
Fucking broken.
All right, guys. You
My
guys,
speech
you got
impediment
anything
broke
to-
technique.
See you, man.
You
Yeah,
got anything
see you
else,
guys.
Smokey? If not, nothing.
Don't fuck up.
Yeah, there you go. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Peace.
Yep. We love you guys, but go fucking live your life.
Out of here. See you guys.
Oh, I gotta take a shit.